You are watching, oi. I got proper loaded, and now they're all swearing loyalty to me. Liang was punched in the face and said in pain, "Darn it." He immediately flew into a rage and was about to strike Shen Yuan with his fist, shouting, "Forget you." However, Shen Yuan managed to dodge just in time. With his heightened agility, Shen Yuan countered by punching Liang in the chest. Liang fell to the ground, groaning in pain, and said through gritted teeth, "You just wait. I'm calling for backup right now." Liang quickly pulled out his phone and called Brother Long, shouting, "Hey, Brother Long, I got beaten up." At the same time, Shen Yuan calmly took out his Chinese phone and called Shen Wei, saying, "Go ahead and call. I'm calling people too." As Brother Wei answered, Shen Yuan said, "Hey, Brother Wei." 15 minutes later, Brother Long and his gang arrived. Brother Long asked coldly, "Liang, who hit you?" Liang immediately pointed at Shen Yuan and shouted, "Brother Long! Brother Long!" It was him. Su Zhouwei and Auntie Jiang were both shocked, beads of sweat forming on their foreheads. Su Zhouwei said nervously, "Shen Yuan, should we call the police?" Auntie Jiang added, "Yes, fighting won't solve anything. This kind of dispute needs the police." Brother Long and his gang turned their attention to Shen Yuan. One of them barked, "Hey, are you the one who hit my brother?" Shen Yuan remained calm and said, "Don't rush, my people are arriving soon." Suddenly the wail of a siren broke through the air as a police car arrived at the scene. Li Wenlong's men looked alarmed. "Big bro, the police are here." Li Wenlong clicked his tongue and glared at Liang. "Tisk Liang, if you actually called the police, why did you call me here?" Liang stammered, "I didn't know. He said he was calling people too. I thought he meant street fighters like us." "Idiot," Li Wenlong snapped in frustration. At that moment, a man stepped out of the police car, Deputy Security Chief Shen Wei of the Guansha police station, who happened to be Shen Yuan's cousin. He frowned and said, "Li Wenlong, why are you everywhere? What happened this time?" Li Wenlong quickly raised his hands defensively. "Officer Shen, I didn't do anything. I just came to watch the excitement." "Watch the excitement," Shen Wei repeated sharply. "Bringing this many people to watch? Stand here first, let me ask about the situation." Shen Wei then walked toward Shen Yuan. "Little brother, what exactly happened?" Shen Yuan proceeded to explain everything in detail. At a distance, Li Wenlong turned to Liang and whispered angrily, "These two look so alike. They're obviously brothers. You made me come here just to stir up trouble. Is your brain soaked in water?" Liang bowed his head and muttered, "Sorry, Brother Long. I didn't know this kid had such connections. I saw he had some money and thought I could get a little extra." Li Wenlong scowled. "You handle it yourself. I'm not getting involved in this mess." Shen Wei turned back to Shen Yuan with a faint smirk. "Good kid. Playing hero to save the beauty, huh?" Shen Yuan grinned slightly. "This is called standing up for justice. Your station should at least give me a commendation banner." Shen Wei chuckled. "No more joking. Tell me, how do you want to handle this? Should I take everyone back to the station for statements?" Shen Yuan said, "Can we simplify it? If that woman's willing to apologize to the child and properly fix the water leak, we can let this matter go." "Fine," Shen Wei replied. "I'll handle it." So Officer Shen worked on mediating between both parties and also gave Li Wenlong and his crew a stern warning. Zheng Lianfeng then turned to Su Jingyi and said sincerely, "I'm sorry, little Ji. Auntie spoke too harshly just now. Don't take it to heart. Auntie apologizes to you." He then hid quietly behind Su Zhouwei, embarrassed by the scene that had unfolded. Shen Wei said, "All right, that's settled then. Hurry back and fix that water leak." Liang replied quickly, "Yes, Officer Shen." Zheng Lianfeng added nervously, I'll go too. It'll be fixed in no time. Don't worry, Officer Shen." Shen Wei waved his hand. "Go on." Then he leaned slightly toward Shen Yuan and whispered, "Brat, is that your girlfriend?" His gaze shifted meaningfully toward Su Zhouwei. Su Zhouwei gently wiped away the tears from little Su Jinggai's cheeks. Shen Yuan whispered back, "Not yet, bro. You've got to keep this secret for me. After this incident, they won't dare trouble Shu Wei's family anymore, and the other neighbors will view the Su family differently too." Shen Wei chuckled as he turned to leave, waving his hand. Didn't expect you'd have something I could hold over you now. As Su Jingji ran toward Auntie Jiang, Su Zhuwei looked back at Shen Yuan, her face slightly flushed. Shen Yuan, thank... Her heartbeat quickened. She stood there for a moment, blushing, eyes lowered. Shen Yuan smiled inwardly. This girl finally has a good impression of me, he thought. He teased lightly. How will you thank me? How about showing some gratitude? He spread his arms slightly, half joking, half expectant. Su Zhuwei blinked in surprise. Ah, there's lots of people upstairs. Shen Yuan chuckled. What's there to be afraid of? Just a hug. Consider it a friendly farewell. She hesitated, then murmured softly, What he says does make sense. Slowly she stepped forward and gently hugged him. For a moment the world seemed to quiet down around them, the tension of the day replaced by a warm, shy calm. Shen Yuan smiled faintly, feeling her heartbeat against his chest, and whispered, Thank you for trusting me. Just then a small voice interrupted them. Big sister, big brother. Su Jingji ran over, holding a bag full of eggs. Mum told me to bring these down. She said they're for... Shen Yuan blinked and smiled. So many. If you give them all to me, will your family still have any left? Su Zhuwei said, Yes, my aunt brought plenty over. Shen Yuan grinned, All right, little G, from now on when you see me. Don't call me big brother, call me brother-in-law, okay? Su Jingji looked up at Su Zhuwei with a puzzled expression. Big sister, what does brother-in-law mean? Su Zhuwei froze, her face turning bright red. Ah, be brother, brother-in-law? For a fleeting second, her imagination ran wild. She saw herself in a traditional red wedding gown, standing beneath a veil, Shen Yuan lifting it with a gentle smile, saying softly, My dear wife, your husband greets you. Her face grew hotter, as she shook her head, snapping back to reality. She glanced shyly at Shen Yuan and whispered to herself, He really might mean it. Shen Yuan said to Su Zhuwei, Let's move to a different flat, somewhere closer to your... Su Zhuwei blushed and looked down, thinking, I also want my family to live better, but with my current income, I truly can't afford it. Shen Yuan said, I'll help you find a place. Don't worry about the money. I'll cover the rent for now. Once you start earning more, you can pay me back then. Su Zhuwei, shocked, said, Shen Yuan, I appreciate your kindness, she replied softly. But really, there's no need. She thought, he's doing it again. As Shen Yuan got inside the G-Wagon, Su Jingji said, Brother-in-law's gone. Let's go back too, sister. He pulled Su Zhuwei's arm. A few moments later, Shen Yuan came back to Chen Na's house. Shen Xuan pulled Shen Yuan and said, Brother, why are you back so late? I'm starving. Shen Yuan sat down and said, In the future, if you're hungry, just go ahead and eat first. Shen Xuan said, Sister-in-law told me to eat first, but she and Jinyu wanted to wait. I felt embarrassed to eat alone, as she sweated. Shen Yuan said, You? Embarrassed? If you truly knew embarrassment, why are you still living here and not going home? Chen Na said, She likes being here, sister-in-law interjected. And she's not an outsider anyway, so let her stay. Chen Xuan whispered to Shen Yuan, Oh, right. Brother, when are you bringing sister-in-law home to meet our parents? And will you bring Coach Liu too? Shen Yuan coughed. Well, about that. In a few days, help me take mother and father on a trip. Use the chance to give them some modern-day ideas, so they'll slowly accept it. Shen Xuan winked at Shen Yuan while eating rice and said, No problem, brother. But that'll cost you extra, Shen Yuan said. Extra? Do you still want that car or not? Handle this properly and I'll buy it for you. Shen Yuan said, Brother, you're shameless. The dinner ended with laughter and jokes. At 12:30 in the morning, Shen Yuan got up and walked to the bathroom. He opened the door and saw Xin Yu showering. He was shocked and said, Xin Yu. Xin Yu seductively posed and looked at Shen Yuan in surprise. Shen Yuan closed the door and covered his eyes, saying to himself, My sins, Amitabha. He immediately sent a message to Xin Yu. I'm sorry, Xin Yu. I truly didn't mean it. The steam was too thick. I couldn't see anything, Xinyu replied quickly. Brother-in-law, it's not your fault. I forgot to lock the door. Shen Yuan thought. This girl even brings her phone into the shower. But I must admit, she and Nana really are on the same level. Nana's elegant, Xinyu's pure and innocent. And most importantly, she's just as thoughtful as her sister. A few moments later, in Xinyu's room, she blushed and said to herself, I never thought the first person to see me completely uncovered would be my brother-in-law. But why do I not feel upset at all? Why does it feel secretly Brother-in-law, she murmured as she touched her legs inside. The next day, at the gym, Shen Yuan did some pull-ups while looking at the system notification and said to himself, my weight's close to 75 kilograms. Body fat dropped to 15.3%. Looks like this fitness mission's almost done. Shen Yuan talked to Liu Minglu and said, Coach Liu, in a few days, help me visit 2 gyms and a yoga studio. Check their operations, service quality, and staff efficiency. Note their strengths and weaknesses. Liu Minglu said, Visit them. Are you planning to buy them? Shen Yuan drank some of Liu Minglu's sweat water and said, I already did, but I'm not familiar with the details yet. Liu Minglu was shocked. She thought to herself, even the smallest fitness club costs over $1 million. A big one with a pool's at least $5 million. And if it's well decorated, it can go past $10 million. And he bought 2 gyms and a yoga studio in one. A system notification said, the system detected that the host has begun evaluating his businesses. A business must not only be stabilized, but upgraded and expanded. Since the host has developed initiative, a new industry mission is issued, timed mission, increase Jingfu Health's net profit by 5% within 3 months. Reward 1, salary and dividends earned from Jingfu Health will receive triple cashback. Reward 2, host will obtain mystery equity shares. Shen Yuan said to himself, this system really raised the difficulty. With the market so saturated, 5% looks small, but in reality, it's already a big jump. If I want to raise profits fast, I must cut costs and raise value. Only 3 months. I cannot waste time. Liu Minglu poked Shen Yuan's face and said, Hey daddy, what are you spacing out for? Shen Yuan said about those gyms and that yoga studio, use any method necessary. Infiltrate, investigate, and get me a real complete report. He held Liu Menglu's shoulders. Liu Menglu said, Are you asking me to be a corporate spy, daddy? Hey, sure, leave it to me, she said as she did some stretches. The next day, in the chairman's office, Shen Yuan said to himself, but Coach Liu's infiltration won't be done in just a day or 2. So for now, if I want to shake things up, I'll have to do it myself. Shen Yuan said, Manager Jia, the gyms and yoga studio are earning steady profits. Only the medical checkup center you manage is barely breaking even. Shouldn't you give me an explanation? Jiananshu, general manager of Jingfu Medical Checkup Center, said, President Shen, checkup centers in Xincheng don't profit easily. Many are losing money. Ours is already considered pretty good. Shen Yuan looked at him seriously and said coldly, Is that so? Jiananshu began to sweat and said, But don't worry, I already have a plan. I'll expand business. I recently recruited some sales talent with wide connections. Just give me time, and we can pull in many orders. As long as we improve our current employees' efficiency, profits will naturally rise as well. Shen Yuan said, Oh, if you already knew expansion was needed, why did you only start recruiting now? Jiananshu looked down, sweating, and said, Boss, you're right to criticize me. That was my oversight. We recently upgraded some equipment, and I put all my focus there. I misplaced my priorities. I'll reflect seriously. There's no need for reflection, Shen Yuan said sharply. Manager Jia, I heard your son's taking exams. Aiming for which high school? Jiananshu said, President Shen, my son's grades are average. We'll just see which school he can get into. I see. You may go then, Shen Yuan said calmly. Yes, President Shen. Call me any time, Jiananshu replied as he exited the office. As he walked outside, he thought, what did he mean by asking about my family? Shen Yuan said to himself, No, This Jiananshu must be replaced. He's slick, dishonest, and there are multiple employees sharing his surname. That means internal nepotism, and there's definitely under-the-table earnings involved too. He pressed on the intercom and said, "Secretary, come to my office." Fu Yingzi immediately entered and said, "Boss, you were looking for me?" Shen Yuan looked at her from head to thighs and said, "Nothing special. I'm just checking if you're getting used to your job here." Fu Yingzi said, "It's fine. I'm still getting familiar with everything, but everyone's treated me well." Shen Yuan said, "Course they did. No one in this company would dare offend you. Just adapt quickly so I can transfer you sooner. Work hard. After 2 months, I'll allocate a 200,000 yuan car for you." Fu Yingzi blushed and said, "A 200,000 car? Boss, is that promise real?" "Would I trick you?" Shen Yuan asked. "Boss, you're too right about the school project. Other than Lu Xinyu, the other 4 girls still don't have investments. They keep asking me every day," she said. "No rush. Put that aside for now," Shen Yuan said casually. As he leaned back in his chair, Shen Yuan imagined himself surrounded by many beautiful women and said to himself, "Some things must be taken one step at a time. Even a maid squad must be recruited one by one. You cannot rush the process." At the health check center, general manager's office, Jiananshu shouted, "Old you! Those people you recruited, are they actually reliable? Keep a close eye on them. I just made a military order-level promise to the new boss. If anything goes wrong, we're all doomed." Old you said, "Don't worry, President Jia. Those sales representatives are my former subordinates from my previous company. Their connections and abilities are top tier. Trust me, we'll secure contracts very soon." Jiananshu said, "Fine. Just stay alert. I've got a bad feeling our good days at this health check center are ending. From now on, we'd better keep our heads down." Old Yu asked, "President Jia, is the new boss hard to deal with?" Jiananshu said, "I thought he was just some pampered rich kid who bought the company to play around, but he handles things like a seasoned veteran. I cannot see through him at all. So listen, stop trying to take advantage of anything for now. Make our performance look good first." Old Yu said, "Understood, President Jia." In the evening, Shen Yuan walked inside the coffee shop and said, "Nana, I'm back." Shenna said, "Shen Yuan, I went to Nigatron Mall this morning and bought you a few suits, 2 pairs of shoes, a belt, and a watch." Shen Yuan said, "Naya and Borny business menswear. That must have cost a fortune." "How much?" Chen Na said, "Just over 1 million. Mainly the Peter watch. It alone was over 800,000. Shen Yuan said, "Silly girl, spend the money on yourself. Why blow it all on me? My lovely Nana, come here, let me reward you." He pulled Chen Na closer to him and tossed aside the expensive gifts she had bought. Chen Na said, "Don't. Xinyu's home too. If she sees, it'll be embarrassing." Shen Yuan said, "What's there to be afraid of? It's just a kiss." Chen Na murmured as he kissed her. Suddenly, Xinyu appeared and said, "Sister, the sterilizer." She froze in shock. Shen Yuan looked at her, speechless. Chen Na blushed deeply. Xinyu. Xinyu turned away, her face red. "Sister, brother-in-law, you two go ahead," Chen Na said. "This is your fault. She really saw it." Shen Yuan said, "She's 18, not a child. Eventually she's got to adapt." Chen Na said, "She hasn't even dated anyone yet. What would she understand? If you ask me, I actually feel like Xinyu's been acting strange lately. I can't put my finger on it, though. I asked, but she won't say anything." Shen Yuan said, "Really? I didn't notice anything," he replied, sweating and forcing denial, while remembering the time he accidentally saw Xinyu taking a shower. Shen Yuan hugged Chen Na, and she said softly, "Maybe I'm overthinking." "Yeah, you probably are," Shen Yuan said. The next day, Shen Yuan got up in bed and thought to himself, even though Xinyu helps at the cafe now, Nana still leaves early for the store. She really works hard. Today, I'm meeting the counselor at her home to go over human resources. The Ember knowledge I gained from Hong Kong last time was incredibly beneficial. Theory and practice aren't the same, But with Jingfu Health in my hands, I can at least train and build foundations, but business administration alone isn't enough. I've got to master more. Jinyu appeared at the bathroom door and said shyly, "Brother-in-law." She blushed. Shen Yuan said, "Jinyu? You didn't go with your sister?" Jinyu said, "I took half a day off. I noticed your car didn't have a phone number plate, so when I bought one for my dad, I got an extra for you. I never had a chance to give it." Shen Yuan said, "Hey, thanks, Jinyu." As she handed it to him, her hand accidentally brushed against his. Jinyu blushed even more. "Brother-in-law, don't tell my sister, okay?" she said before running away. Shen Yuan thought to himself, is she talking about the plate, or something else she doesn't want Nana to know? Either way, I'm not telling Nana. In a different scene, Li Meng said, "Sister, is Shen Yuan coming soon?" Counselor Li Xiao was applying lip gloss when she replied, "How did you know?" Li Meng said, "Please, someone who usually doesn't wear makeup suddenly putting on light makeup at home, carefully picking clothes and dressing up. Anyone could tell." Counselor Li Xiao looked away, blushing. "He's coming to study," she said. Li Meng took a sip of her cold water and asked, "Do you want me to avoid the room?" Counselor Li Xiao said, slightly annoyed, "No need, just stay in the living room. If it's just the two of us, it feels too intentional." Li Meng grinned, "Great, sister, you're learning all his bad habits, going on a date and still expecting me to be the third wheel." Counselor Li Xiao frowned. "He's coming to study. What date?" Li Meng teased her more. "It is a date." "It is a date?" A few moments later, Counselor Li Xiao opened the door dressed in a beautiful, elegant outfit. "Come in." Shen Yuan froze at the doorway, shocked and blushing. Counselor Li Xiao said, "Why are you frozen at the door? Get inside." She lightly pulled him in. Shen Yuan said, "Counselor, you look amazing today. You look this good and still expect me to concentrate on reading." Counselor Li Xiao said, "Stop joking." Shen Yuan smiled and handed over a small box. "Li Meng, this is for you. See if you like it." Li Meng said, "A gift for me? And Thanks, Shen Yuan. I'll go inside and admire my gift. Sister, Shen Yuan, I'll leave you two to your studying." Counselor Li Xiao muttered under her breath, sweating slightly. "I told you to stay in the living room. That girl gets bribed so easily." Shen Yuan said, "Come on, Counselor, let's begin our happy learning time." Counselor Li Xiao narrowed her eyes. "You did that on purpose, didn't you?" Shen Yuan replied innocently, "What, I just didn't want to show up empty-handed, so I brought your sister a small gift, that's all." Counselor Li Xiao sighed. "Forget it. Let's study. I've got several human resource textbooks." "Which one do you want to start with?" A system notification appeared. "System detected. Host has begun learning human resource." To manage a company, one must master high-level management, stimulate employee motivation, and perfect company systems. Host shows self-driven progress. Human resources panel unlocked. Limited task. Learn key knowledge of human resource management within 1 month. Upon completion, the system will embed all MHRM content from Renmin University into the host's mind. Shen Yuan thought to himself, Renmin's MHRM is one of the best programs in China. Very prestigious. He said aloud, "Let's use this one, human resource management." Counselor Li Xiao said, "All right." Half an hour later, Counselor Li Xiao, cheeks slightly flushed, thought to herself, if this were before, Shen Yuan would have already tried to flirt or make a move. Why hasn't he done anything today? Shen Yuan continued reading seriously. Then he suddenly said, "Counselor, what are you doing?" "Continue." Counselor Li Xiao, blushing, said to herself, "This is weird, studying so seriously. I don't buy it. Let me test you again." Counselor Li Xiao came closer and grabbed his arm, pressing it against her huge soft chest, and said, "Shen Yuan." Shen Yuan said, "Counselor, I came to study." "What are you trying to do?" Counselor Li Xiao blushed and thought, sitting so close and still behaving. Did Shen Yuan change?" Shen Yuan smirked and said, "Counselor." He then grabbed Counselor Li Xiao's tiny waist and said, "Just now." He then grabbed her legs and carried her to his lap and said, "You were playing with fire," as Counselor Li Xiao said in shock while kissing Shen Yuan. Counselor Li Xiao blushed and said, "Shen Yuan, how about you continue reading aloud. Shen Yuan said, course I'll study, but to truly focus, I need a clear mind first, right? Counselor Li Xiao said, what are you planning to do? As Shen Yuan puts Counselor Li Xiao in his lap, Shen Yuan said, Counselor, the way you dressed today, was that on purpose? Counselor Li Xiao blushed and said, I just tidied myself up a little to meet you, that's all. When we're alone, can you stop calling me Counselor? Shen Yuan smells her lips and said, wouldn't that make it? As Li Meng slowly opens her door, Shen Yuan said, half the fun gone? As Li Meng blushes and covers her mouth, Shen Yuan walks his fingers to Counselor Li Xiao's soft legs. Counselor Li Xiao said, Shen Yuan, not yet. As Counselor Li Xiao grabs Shen Yuan's wrist and said, please, give me a little more time to prepare, all right? Shen Yuan said, at a moment like this, how do you expect a man to hold back? Counselor Li Xiao whispers softly, if you really cannot hold it in, I can help you. Shen Yuan said, help me? How? As Counselor Li Xiao gets down and plays with a little Vienna sausage. Li Ming was shocked and in disbelief as she saw Counselor Li Xiao playing with a little Vienna sausage. Half an hour later, after wiping her lips from a 2-minute work, Counselor Li Xiao sat down on the couch, blushing, and said, now, can you focus on studying? But I need to head back to school for a meeting soon, so I can only stay for 1 hour. Shen Yuan relaxed and said, perfect. This is the calm period, the best time for memorizing. Shen Yuan said to himself, system, use the efficient learning card. A system notification appeared. Efficient learning card. While reading, you can memorize everything perfectly. All knowledge will be completely imprinted into your mind. Each card lasts for 1 hour. Soon, gibberish and worthless knowledge poured into Shen Yuan's head. Another notification followed. Congratulations, host! You have mastered all key knowledge points from human resource management. Within 30 minutes, the system will embed all Renmin University MHRM data into your brain. Shen Yuan muttered to himself, I didn't expect it to drain this much energy. Let's the learning card. I cannot be doing other things at the same time. As he stretched his arms, he accidentally said, Li. Then he realized and thought, oh right, Counselor should have gone back to school by now. Li Meng came out of her room and asked, what's wrong? Shen Yuan thought, why does Li Meng look a little off? He said, it's nothing. I just got tired from studying and I'm all sweaty. Mind if I take a shower at your place? Li Meng replied, sure, I'll get you a new towel. A few moments later, Shen Yuan took a shower. Outside, Li Meng blushed and murmured to herself, why is my heart racing? Is it because it's the first time a man showered in my house? Then Shen Yuan's phone rang. He picked it up and said, hello, Principal Shu, what's up? Principal Shu replied, Student Shen, did you see Secretary Kong's message? We're waiting for you at Longji Hotel, 3rd floor, Tianyuan Pavilion. Shen Yuan dressed up quickly and said, Li Meng, I've got something to handle. I'll head out first. He thought to himself, that Li Meng girl, along with Chen Xinyu, both those sisters are acting strange lately. A few moments later, Secretary Kong shook Shen Yuan's hand and said, Student Shen, we meet again. Shen Yuan replied, Hello, Secretary Kong. Hello, Principal Shu. Vice Principal Shu Shutai smiled awkwardly, shook Shen Yuan's hand and said, No need to be so formal, Shen Yuan. Sit, sit. After everyone sat down, they made a toast with cheap wine. Vice Principal Shu Shutai said, Shen Yuan, after discussions among the leadership, we've decided to award you as both a triple good student and one of the university's top 10 students. Also, we plan to nominate you as one of Star City's outstanding students and make you the school's foreign affairs student representative. Secretary Kong added, This means you'll become the face of the university. During the freshman military break and the after-summer training, we'd like you to give a speech as a role model for your juniors. Ha ha. Shen Yuan asked, Principal Shu, is there anything else I can do to contribute? Vice Principal Shu Shutai laughed and said, Ha ha ha, not exactly. It's just that the school plans to renovate the library. Right now, our library's appearance, interior, and book collection cannot compare with other universities. For education, the library is the treasure house of knowledge, the heart of the university, the second classroom, and a place for cultivating talent. Shen Yuan thought to himself, so after all that, you're just hoping for a free sponsorship. All those fancy words mean nothing if you're not offering something real in return. He then said, Principal, let's talk about the library later. I've got a question. Our school arranges 2 health checkups every 4 years, correct? Which medical center are we currently partnered with? Vice Principal Shu Shutai and Secretary Kong glanced at each other nervously, thinking, why is Shen Yuan asking about health checkups? Secretary Kong asked, Shen Yuan, why the sudden question? Shen Yuan replied, I recently acquired healthcare company A. It happens to have a medical checkup center under it. I'd like to expand partnerships, and our school would be a great start. Secretary Kong thought, I see, I brought it up, but I don't have the authority to decide. It's awkward just sitting here. Better excuse myself to the restroom. He stood up and said, getting old. A few drinks and I'm already running to the bathroom. I'll go take a smoke too. Shen Yuan smiled faintly. Vice Principal Shu Shatai said, I didn't realize student Shen owns multiple businesses. That's a good thing. You're one of our top students, already going international. It's only right for you to have school collaborations. Shen Yuan asked. So, Principal Shu, what are you suggesting? Vice Principal Shu Shutai sweated slightly and thought, looks like we'll have to exchange resources through this library deal. After all, whoever handles the health checkups gets a commission. Giving it to him is the same. This area happens to be under my supervision. If his company has the proper credentials and offers a reasonable price, there's a chance we can work something out. Shen Yuan said, Got it, Principal Shu. I'll have my manager contact the school right away. We'll send the credentials first to reassure you, and we can discuss plans and pricing later. As for the extras, I understand how it works. Vice Principal Shu Shutai took a tactical sip of cheap wine. Shen Yuan stood up and said, I've had too much. I'm starting to feel dizzy. Principal Shu, I'm a lightweight, sorry. I'll skip the rest of the meal. Once we sign the contract, I'll treat you next time. A few moments later, Secretary Kong came back and asked, Principal, where's Shen Yuan? Vice Principal Shu Shutai, still swirling his glass, replied. He said he couldn't handle more drinks and left first. Secretary Kong frowned and muttered, This Shen Yuan's more complicated than I thought. At his age, he doesn't even care about fame or titles. I wanted him to invest in the library renovation, but instead, he found himself a business opportunity. Half an hour later, at Liu Menglu's place, Shen Yuan rests on Liu Menglu's hard, firm legs and said, Next time you go drinking, take me with you. I could at least help you handle a few rounds. Shen Yuan said, How could I? You've worked so hard on your fitness. I can't let it go to waste. Liu Menglu said, Stop teasing. Here, have some honey water. It helps with the hangover. Shen Yuan looks at Liu Menglu and he sat up and said, Coach Liu, that's not how you drink honey water if you want it to work. Liu Menglu said, Huh? Then how should I drink it? Shen Yuan came closer to Liu Menglu and he suddenly paused the glass to Liu Menglu. Shen Yuan said, Like this. As Shen Yuan came close to Liu Menglu and kissed her neck as she said, Shen Yuan said to Liu Menglu while on bed, Right, about the survey I asked you to do at that fitness center. Any progress? Liu Menglu said, I've been working out at one of them these past 2 days. After careful observation, there aren't any major problems, but there are quite a few minor ones, Shen Yuan said. Go on. Liu Menglu said, First, their social media accounts don't have enough likes or comments. Clearly, the videos aren't attractive enough. Second, the store's service level's average. It's not refined, not high-end, not professional. For example, the front desk's response, one word, slow. Third, the trainer's service awareness is weak. When there aren't many members around, the trainers just gather and chat with the sales team. That really affects the members' experience. Fourth, there's no proper follow-up after members leave. Since I visited the store yesterday morning, I've only received one message from the trainer. Fifth, the sales team doesn't even have a key performance indicator for monthly follow-up with new clients. That's ridiculous. The head of sales definitely needs to be replaced. Shen Yuan said, "Not bad, as expected of my personal coach." Liu Menglu blushed and said, "Course, this is my area of expertise." At the gym, Liu Menglu spots Shen Yuan and the system said, height, 182 centimeters, weight, 75.2 kilograms. Health, 80, body fat, 14.9%, immunity, 82, brain activity, 81. Another system notification said, "Congratulations, host, fitness task complete. You are one step closer to a perfect life. Your star body reward will be fully activated in 1 week. Please maintain a 1-day gap between workouts." Star template, 182 centimeters, 77 kilograms, 10% body fat. Shen Yuan said to himself, "The reward is finally coming." As he feels his muscles become smaller and tighter, Liu Menglu said, "Huh? Shen Yuan, you suddenly feel different somehow." Shen Yuan took the cup and said, "I completed the task you assigned, Coach Liu. A month ago, you told me to gain 5 kilograms and reduce my body fat below 15%. Both done." Liu Menglu said, "You're amazing." Shen Yuan said, "Check WeChat, a small reward." Liu Menglu looks at her phone and said, "Wow, Daddy, you transferred 100,000 yuan to me. Love you, Daddy. Moi." Shen Yuan also looks at his phone and saw a message from Su Jiewei, and she said, "Shen Yuan, are you free tonight? I would like to treat you to dinner to thank you properly for last time." Shen Yuan walks away and said, "Coach Liu, that's it for today. I've got something to do, but I'll shower and head out soon. Oh, and don't forget the matter I mentioned before." Liu Menglu waves goodbye and shows some of her cleavage and said, "I know, don't worry, Daddy." A few moments later outside, Shen Yuan said to Su Shuiwei, "Shuiwei, why wait outside? Wouldn't it be more comfortable inside?" Su Shuiwei said in beauty, "I was afraid you might not find me if you came in." Shen Yuan said, "No way. You're so beautiful I'd spot you anywhere." As Su Shuiwei was shocked and was silent, Shen Yuan said, "You are beautiful. Why so shy when I just say the truth?" A few moments later, Shen Yuan holds the delicate soft hands of Su Shuiwei and said, "I mentioned finding you a place near your company. It's ready. You can move in this weekend." Su Shuiwei said, "That's not necessary, Shen Yuan. My current place is fine." Shen Yuan said, "I've already rented it. If you, your younger brother, and your mother don't move in, it'll just sit empty." Su Shuiwei said, "Then I'll treat the renters alone, okay? I'll pay you back once I start earning." Shen Yuan said, "Sure." Suddenly Dong Chitao appeared and said, "Mr. Shen, wow, it's Mr. Shen. I almost thought you were some celebrity or idol. No wonder you looked familiar, haha." Shen Yuan looks at Dong Chitao, annoyed and silent, while holding the delicate soft hands of Su Shuiwei. Dong Chitao said to himself, "Don't tell me, he's on a date." He sweated and thought. To ease the tension, he quickly changes the subject. Dong Qitao said, "Mr. Shen, do you remember me? I'm Dong Qitao, Xiao Dong. We met at Miss Chen Na's house, remember?" Shen Yuan said, "Oh right, it's you, hello." Shen Yuan nodded politely. As Shen Yuan removes his hand from Su Jiewei, he shakes the rough hands of Dong Qitao. Dong Qitao said, "I was just having dinner with some mates. Didn't expect to bump into you. You're not drinking tonight? Come on, just a couple of glasses." Shen Yuan said, "Maybe next time." Dong Qitao said, Sure. Dong Qitao said quickly, "Mr. Shen, I'm in the sports equipment distribution business. If you ever need anything, just say the word. Here's my WeChat. Mind adding me?" Shen Yuan thought, sports equipment. That might actually come in handy. Shen Yuan said, "Great, I'll scan you then." Dong Qitao said, "All right, enjoy your meal, call me any time." As he walks away awkwardly, as Dong Qitao came back to his table, his friend said, "Hey, who was that bloke? Why were you the one trying to please him?" Dong Qitao said, "I told you that's the boyfriend of the girl I once went on a blind date with. It's not about pride, the bloke's loaded. If I can cling to him a bit, maybe I can drink some soup from his pot later." His friend said, "For real? Dong Qitao said. Go see for yourself. The watch on his wrist alone could buy 2 of my cars. His friend was shocked and sweated as he said, What kind of watch costs 800,000? Dong Qitao, annoyed, said, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 2640, frosted gold. Look it up. His friend said, Darn. But weird though. If he's that rich, why eat at this kind of common restaurant? Dong Qitao said, How should I know? His friend said, That girl? Was she your blind date? Man, you're messed up. She's way too young for you. Dong Qitao said, No, not her. His friend said, Ha! Rich men play the devoted husband at home and lovers outside, and all of them are gorgeous. Dong Qitao said, Stop talking about him. It's making me depressed. As Su Zhuwei sparkles in beauty. Half an hour later, outside, Shen Yuan said, Not heading home yet? He asked softly. Walk with me a bit. It helps with digestion. As a dirty cat stops in front of Shen Yuan and Su Zhuwei. Su Zhuwei said, Here, kitty, come. Shen Yuan said, Zhuwei, that's a stray. You've got to bring cat food, or it won't come near you. As the cat turned away, Su Zhuwei, frustrated, looks at Shen Yuan. Shen Yuan suddenly hugs Su Zhuwei from behind, and she said, This is a park, Shen Yuan. You cannot just, as she blushes. Shen Yuan holds her chin and said, What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything. Su Zhuwei said, Can you not act like this? She murmured, flustered. Shen Yuan holds the hips of Su Zhuwei and she turns her around. Shen Yuan said, It's not like I haven't held you before. Why so nervous? As Shen Yuan stole a kiss, and Su Zhuwei said, 5 minutes later, Su Zhuwei looks away and blushed, saying, Shen Yuan, can we stop now? Shen Yuan said, There's no one around. As he hugs her behind, Su Zhuwei said, Even so, we cannot. Shen Yuan said, Really? Then what can we do? Every time I think about that question, my head nearly explodes. Su Zhuwei thought, He said every time. He's really been thinking about it all this while. Even though he always acted like a playful rogue when he was serious, he was surprisingly responsible, dependable even. Shen Yuan is complex, hard to read, yet he makes people want to understand him more. Affection level, 67. Shen Yuan thought, why did her affection level suddenly jump to 67? He blinked. For other girls, I've got to spend hours in hotels to raise favor, but for Zhuwei, just a walk in the park. Su Zhuwei's mom said, You're back? As Su Zhuwei came home from her date with Shen Yuan, she replied, Mom, let's move out in a few days. A few moments later they sat down on the couch, unaware that a huge rat was quietly listening nearby. Su Zhuwei's mom asked, Move? Where to? Su Zhuwei answered, I don't know yet. Shen Yuan said he's already found us a place. Her mom looked at her closely. Wei, have you really thought this through? Once we move, there's no going back. Su Zhuwei blushed. Yes, I've thought it through, Mum. I think I might kind of like him the next day. While driving on the road, Shen Yuan called Lazy Jia. Hey, how's the health check partnership going? Lazy Jia answered, Mr. Shen, yesterday it was already arranged. The appointment is today at 10 in the morning with Principal Shu in his office. As Shen Yuan glanced at the screen and kept driving, he muttered, It's already 9 o'clock. He's only waking up now. Looks like that Lazy Jia has to pack up and get lost soon. At 10:10 in the morning, Shen Yuan entered the meeting room and Vice Principal Shu Shutai exclaimed, Shen Yuan, why are you here? Since you're here, come sit down, Shen Yuan. Yu Zhifeng immediately stood up. Mr. Shen. He was the marketing manager of the medical center. Yu Zhifeng. Lazy Jia panicked internally. Mr. Shen, why are you here? Today's only the first meeting. You didn't say you'd be coming. Oh dear, the entire presentation was prepared by Yu Zhifeng. I didn't even look at the proposal once. Shen Yuan said, You all go ahead and talk. Don't mind me, I just happened to be nearby and wanted to drop by to see Principal Shu. Yu Jifeng handled the serious negotiation and coordination, while lazy Jia remained a pure listener. Inwardly, Shen Yuan thought, I came specifically to see how Jia Nanshu works, and now I see it clearly. He's a bloke who never handles business, only dumps it on others. I really need to find someone to replace him soon. Suddenly Shen Yuan stood up. Principal Shu, please continue, I'll leave you to it. Jia Nanshu let out a shaky sigh, wiping his sweat. Finally, the inspector's gone. Thank goodness, whew. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan thought, if Yu Jifeng's capable, perhaps he could replace Jia Nanshu, but I need to know his full background first. If he's in the same circle as Jia, that'd be awkward. Anyway, let's head to Jingfu Company. I've got more things to do today. 1 hour later, at Jingfu Company, Shen Yuan asked the ladies, our online marketing's weak. The videos on TikTok are quite terrible, Manager Cheng. Why? Operations Department Manager. Cheng Ru replied nervously, Mr. Shen, good promotional videos usually feature attractive female trainers, but hiring such models costs too much. We don't have the budget, Shen Yuan responded. Why do we need models? Can our own gym trainers not appear in the videos? Cheng Ru wiped sweat from her forehead. Some don't want to be on camera, others don't want to film. The online clients are evenly distributed among trainers, so the ones who appear in videos feel it's unfair. You didn't analyze this issue earlier, Shen Yuan asked. The gym and yoga studio still get good walk-ins, so profits are fine. That's why it's been ignored for a while, she admitted. Shen Yuan turned to the general manager. Manager Sun, the online traffic's low, in-store service quality's poor, staff discipline's weak, and follow-ups are a mess. As general manager, what's your opinion? Manager Sun stammered. Mr. Shen, am I wrong? He asked calmly. No, you're right, but... Shen Yuan tapped his fingers on the table. No buts. Draft some improvement measures and report to me tomorrow. Manager Sun bowed slightly, sweating even more. Yes, Mr. Shen. When Manager Sun and Cheng Ru walked out of Shen Yuan's office, Manager Sun whispered to herself, our fitness center's always been the best in both scale and profit. I thought the new boss's first move would be to burn down Jia's health center. Why's he burning my place instead? But since he was asking for improvement plans, it meant there was still a chance for them to redeem themselves. As for Shen Yuan, he spent the entire day studying reports. He thought, overall, the gym's got the fewest issues. If we fix the key points I mentioned, customer flow and conversion will rise, and profits will follow. Of course, that means more work for the staff, but since trainers and sales earn commissions, I doubt anyone will complain. Money keeps them happy. A few moments later, at Chen Na's home, the front door opened, and Chen Xinyu stepped in, dressed like an obedient, beautiful young wife. Her cheeks were bright red. Brother-in-law, you are home. Shen Yuan removed his smelly shoe and asked, Why are you here, Xinyu? Where's your sister? The cafe's busy, she's working, Xinyu replied. She was afraid you'd be hungry, so she sent me home early to cook for you. When will she be back? Shen Yuan asked. Not any time soon, she answered softly. She just sent a message saying not to wait for her for dinner. Shen Yuan looked at the table overflowing with food and thought, You're explaining that awfully clearly. Are you hinting that we've got plenty of time? Aloud, he said, Wow, such a big meal. You made all this? The dishes were still hot and steaming, much like the warmth rising in her blushing face. They sat down together. But it might not taste as good as my sister's, Xinyu stammered. Don't mind it too much, brother-in-law. Shen Yuan began eating. No worries, as long as it's made by you two sisters. I'll enjoy it. Chen Xinyu froze. Her chopstick slipped from her trembling fingers and fell to the floor. Startled, Shen Yuan also stiffened. And no, wait, I mean I like the food both of you make. Xinyu, I've got to say, this tastes pretty good. She blushed even more. Really? I made these because I noticed you seem to like these dishes the most. Shen Yuan looked at her. Xinyu. For a breathless moment, the world quieted. They could hear nothing but each other's heartbeats. Brother-in-law, she whispered. Then she suddenly stood up, nearly tripping over her chair. I'm just going to the bathroom for a moment. Inside the bathroom, Chen Xinyu splashed water on her face, trying to cool the heat in her cheeks. She stared at herself in the mirror, still flustered and glowing red. In her mind, she imagined herself under the shower, whispering, "Brother-in-law, could I start calling you Shen Yuan instead?" Her shoulders sagged as she looked downward. Ugh, I almost said what I truly wanted to say. No, those words must never ever leave my mouth. Besides, brother-in-law only has eyes for my sister. There's no way he would ever like me inside the washroom. Chen Xinyu closed the faucet. She looked at the mirror, her face beautifully flushed, and whispered to herself that she needed to explain everything to her brother-in-law, otherwise something bad might happen. A few moments later, she stepped outside and said to Shen Yuan, "Brother-in-law, actually, I didn't mean it that way." Shen Yuan replied, "I know, it's all right." Chen Xinyu felt her world collapse. He didn't seem to care at all. So he really didn't like me, she thought, lowering her head in sadness. "Oh," she murmured. Shen Yuan began sweating and muttered inwardly, "You were the one who wanted to explain. I said I didn't mind, so why are you upset?" These 17 to 18-year-old girls are truly hard to read. But since my earlier answer made her unhappy, I should rephrase it. He then said aloud, "Xinyu, everyone's got the right to choose freely. You don't need to be restricted by society's rules." Chen Xinyu stared at him in shock. Shen Yuan continued gazing at her huge melons. After about 3 seconds, she told herself, he understood how I felt. His words weren't a rejection. He spoke vaguely. He didn't say yes or no. Chen Xinyu slowly moved closer to him. Trying to gather her thoughts, she said softly, "Brother-in-law." Suddenly Chen Na opened the door, and in her usual charming voice asked, "Shen Yuan, Xinyu, have you eaten yet?" Xinyu froze, blushing deeply. She quickly walked away and said, Yeah, we ate. Sister, you haven't eaten yet, right? I'll heat up the dishes for you." Shen Yuan told Chen Na, "The cafe business is getting better and better. Nana, you've worked hard." As Chen Na removed her heels, she said, "You've given me such good, wonderful conditions, Shen Yuan. Because of you, I'm truly so happy now. I don't feel tired at all. I just want to work even harder." Suddenly, Shen Yuan and Chen Na hugged each other tightly and kissed. From a distance, Chen Xinyu whispered to herself, "A slight sourness lingered in my heart." The next day, at the gym, Liu Menglu reported, "Mr. Shen, I visited the other 2 stores as well." Shen Yuan nodded. "Tell me, what problems did you notice?" Liu Menglu said, "The yoga studio provides good service but has few members. It's a customer attraction issue. The other gyms got similar problems. They're all small issues. It just depends on whether the managers want to fix them. I've organized everything and will send it to you later." Shen Yuan grabbed her firm peaches and said, "Good, nicely done. You deserve a reward." Liu Menglu blushed. He made that familiar hand gesture again. "Another small target reward," Shen Yuan replied. "What do you take me for? I'm free this afternoon. Let's go on a date. But besides your problem report, tonight you must also give me a plan for solving them." "Huh? Oh, okay," she answered shyly. At the mall, Liu Menglu bought a new signature outfit, and Shen Yuan used his card to pay for it over 24 months. A few moments later, at an expensive restaurant, after ordering the cheapest items on the menu, Shen Yuan and Liu Menglu stared at each other for a full 10 minutes. Shen Yuan sipped his grape juice and thought, clothes, bags, movie, dinner totaled 230,000 Lebanese pounds. After triple cashback, the net profit was 460,000 Lebanese pounds. Outside, Shen Yuan and Liu Menglu walked slowly, with her affection rating toward him at 93. "Daddy," Liu Menglu murmured, blushing, "today might be, probably, maybe, the happiest day of my whole life." Shen Yuan thought, so the cashback amount didn't matter. Coach Liu's affection level reached 93, and another's 100. This is getting more and more exciting. He looked at the huge mountains before him, while Liu Menglu gazed into his eyes. "Silly girl," Shen Yuan said softly, Our days together have only just begun. They kissed gently. The next day, Jingfu Company, Fitness Center. General Manager Sun Jen said, Mr. Shen, I'm here for my... These are the improvement measures. They may still be lacking. You're more experienced. Please take a look. Shen Yuan replied, no need for a self-review. Sit. Give me a brief summary of the new measures. He sat down and pretended to read the report. Sun Jen said, first, store reception. If staff delay or slack off in public spaces, they'll be fined. The same applies to follow-ups. Continuous follow-ups are required. Missing any results will lead to performance deductions. Shen Yuan interrupted. Hold on, this is all punishment. No rewards. He continued reading the report upside down. Sun Jen wiped her forehead and said, punishments create urgency and make them take work more seriously. Shen Yuan replied, punishments are fine, but rewards must also exist. Use rewards as the main tool and punishments as support. The key is motivation pressure. Sun Jen nodded quickly. Noted, Mr. Shen. You truly think ahead. Far-sighted as always. What about customer acquisition? Shen Yuan asked. We mostly rely on offline walk-ins. Online traffic's low. I need to speak with Cheng, the network operations manager, before giving you concrete improvement plans, she answered. Shen Yuan took a sip of his expired coffee and said, the videos aren't attractive because the coaches don't cooperate. You need to adjust the rules. I want the traffic distribution policy by tomorrow afternoon. Understood, Mr. Shen. Shen Yuan set down his mug. The goal is to improve staff efficiency and increase company profit. The company cannot support idle workers. Understand? With her head lowered, Sun Jen answered, I know what I need to do. A few moments later, she stepped out of Shen Yuan's office, still sweating. She whispered to herself Wu old Jia hadn't been lying. The new boss is extremely capable and very forceful. This decisive attitude, how's he only 21? The company does not feed idlers. That means if I mess up, I'm finished. Pu Yingzi glanced at her and thought, she's been scared stiff by Shen Yuan. Speaking of which, I've never seen his terrifying side yet, and I hope I never will. Fu Yingzi walked into Shen Yuan's office and said, Mr. Shen, I've got some insider gossip to tell you. Shen Yuan sighed, sweating slightly. We're alone. Don't call me Mr. Shen. It sounds strange. Boss, Fu Yingzi corrected herself. The real person coordinating with the school is Yu Jifang. He used to handle marketing and business expansion, but Jiananshu never let him take on big projects, so he's been suppressed for over 2 years. I checked his background, Shen Yuan said. He was a deputy general manager at another medical center. Fu Yingzi continued until his wife cheated with his old boss, and he beat that boss up. Then he had to resign. That's why he's been enduring Jia. He can't afford another job change so soon. Shen Yuan chuckled. You can dig up gossip like this? My little secretary, you're good. He held her delicate arm gently and asked, a capable little secretary like you? Do you have a boyfriend? Ah, Fu Yingzi blushed. Inside, her thoughts spiraled. Why are you suddenly asking me that? You already have so many women. Are you tired of the big ones and want to try my little pie? She glanced down at her apples. Another thought flashed in her head. If there's work, the secretary does it. If there's no work, do the secretary? No, she scolded herself silently. Boss already has enough lovers. He doesn't need me. It's better if I stay as the hard-working little bee by his side. Shen Yuan said, Yan Song, Mo Zhenwang and Lu Xinyu's startup funds have all been approved. Let them start implementing things. Okay, boss, she said obediently. A few moments later, Shen Yuan opened the social media profile of Lin Yuchang. He muttered to himself, Sister Lin's daily posts. She's completely in relationship mode. Sis, are you not messing with my mental state? He stared at her beautiful, seductive photo. Just then, Lin Yuchang messaged him. I just made lunch. Does it suit your taste? Do you want me to send some to you? Shen Yuan replied, No need. After lunch, I'll come to your place to fix the air conditioner. Lin Yuchang covered her mouth in shock, cheeks bright red. She quickly sent another message. Can you not come to my house? I'm already scared. Shen Yuan smirked as his slow Chinese internet loaded her message. He typed, "Bring your lingerie to the hotel. I'll send you the location. 1 hour later at the hotel." Lin Yuchang arrived wearing a mask, a bucket hat, and a trench coat. In the distance, Zhang Shanyong noticed her and turned crimson. That woman at the elevator, he thought. Darn! That slender waist, that perfectly curved hip line. Io! Her waist-hip ratio's unbelievable. Too good. But she's wearing a mask. I can't see her face. He scratched his chubby cheek nervously. Wait. Why does her figure suddenly look a bit like my wife's? After I finish checking in this customer, I should call home to confirm. A few moments later, in the executive suite, Shen Yuan opened the door and said, "Why are you sneaking around like a thief?" Lin Yuchang stepped inside. She removed her mask and bucket hat, cheeks flaming. "I'm not like you. You have no idea how big of a risk I'm taking." Shen Yuan immediately pulled her into his arms. "Wouldn't it be better if they found out?" he teased. "It's not time yet," she whispered. "Let me change clothes first." 5 minutes later, Lin Yuchang had just taken off her trench coat when Shen Yuan instructed, "Turn around." She obliged and showed off her graceful silhouette. Shen Yuan teased, "Sister Lin, do you know it's exactly this outfit that keeps me from focusing on work?" "So what?" she replied, amused. Shen Yuan cupped her jaw and said, "You have to compensate me." Confused, Lin Yuchang asked, "How?" "Kneel," he answered. She didn't kneel, she stayed propped on the edge of the bed. A small, unexpected pressure against her made her stifle a sound. "Shen Yuan?" Just then Zhang Shanyong called. Lin Yuchang's face went pale. "Oh no, it's Zhang Shanrong calling," she said, hurriedly answering the phone. "Hello? What's wrong?" she managed, cheeks warming as Shen Yuan fumbled nearby. "Are you outside or at home?" Zhang Xianyong asked. "At home, why?" She stammered. "What are you doing?" he pressed. Lin Yuchang improvised. "Ma, making dumplings." "Okay then, nothing important. I just missed you and wanted to ask," Zhang Shenyong said, and Lin Yuchang trembled, glancing at Shen Yuan and holding her breath. After a few quiet moments, she said, "I cannot stay with you longer. I have to go back. I know him. He will definitely come home to check on me later." Shen Yuan sat back on the bed and said, "Go, just endure this period, it'll pass." 1 hour later, Zhang Shanyong arrived home, still making dumplings. "What's the occasion today? Why dumplings?" he asked. "No reason, I just wanted to eat them," she replied, deftly shaping each dumpling like a professional. "You said you were meeting clients today. Why did you suddenly come back?" he asked as he reached to hug her. Lin Yuchang stepped back into the kitchen and said, "All right, I'll boil them for you now." Zhang Shanyong smiled inwardly. What a good wife. With a wife like this, what more could a man want? He thought in the car. Shen Yuan reflected. I was supposed to have Yu Jifeng report to me today, but because of this incident, I'll have to talk to him another day. The longer I stay at the company, the more I feel my knowledge is lacking. I should ask my counselor for special tutoring. He called Li Xiao. Counselor, how long before you get home? Almost the summer break, lots of work. At least 1.5 hours. Why? Came the answer. I wanted to study with you. Did you highlight the key points in the international economics textbook I mentioned? Shen Yuan asked. Yes, I finished it. Do you want to start memorizing new chapters today? Li Xiao offered. He replied. If it's urgent, go to my house and pick it up. Li Meng is home, she added. Actually, I mainly wanted to see you. I miss you, Teacher Li, Shen Yuan admitted. Li Xiao felt her cheeks warm. I know, but I'm really busy lately. I'll keep you company when I can, she thought, and then smiled inwardly. Suddenly, nosy teacher said, Oh, so you are dating someone now? Li Xiao looks away and said, No, I am not. nosy teacher said. Do not lie. You are covered in that lovesick smell. You think I cannot sense it. Come on, who is it? Li Xiao said. Really no one. Nosy teacher said. You think I'm 3 years old? I don't believe that. Hiding it like this. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Don't tell me your lover is a student. A forbidden teacher. Student romance. Spicy. As Li Xiao imagined something naughty with Shen Yuan on her desk. Fai, come on, I'm not an outsider. Tell me, is it you, your student? No, the one I'm talking about. Li Xiao covers her face as her blush in her cheeks radiates outside of her notebook and said, Ah! Meeting starting soon. Stop fooling around. Nosy teacher said, Okay, I'm getting ready. But honestly, teacher, student relationships are normal nowadays. Relax. I won't judge you. Li Xiao said, You? A few moments later, Shen Yuan arrived at Li Xiao's apartment. Li Meng opens the door and said, You're here. Shen Yuan said, I'm here to pick up the study materials. Li Meng blushed and said, I know. Sis sent me a message. Her books are on the shelf in the bedroom. Look for them yourself. Shen Yuan said, Okay. Shen Yuan said to himself, Why is Li Meng blushing? Forget it, not my business. As long as I don't provoke this sister, in law, heaven bless me. As he scans the book, Li Meng swallowed and said, I need to tell you something. Shen Yuan broke out in a cold sweat and thought, Damn it, the thing I feared the most. What? He asked. Li Meng blushed and confessed, Do it with me once. Shen Yuan froze, the book slipping from his hands. What? The room fell into an uncomfortable silence. Li Meng hurried on, cheeks aflame. Don't overthink it, just once purely. You can think of it as finding a partner to relieve certain needs. She looked away, embarrassed. I won't tell my sister. Treat it as our secret. Why? Shen Yuan asked, bewildered. There's no why, she said. Just say yes or no. No, he answered firmly. Without an emotional foundation, I won't do it. A thought flashed through his mind. Are you treating me like a tool? No. Wait, could this be a test from Li Xiao? Li Meng accused him. Stop pretending. Aren't all men the same? Can you really control your lower half? Shen Yuan picked the book back up and said, Sorry, but I can control myself. Li Meng grabbed at his shirt and murmured, blushing, Wait, are you worried about something? Shen Yuan swallowed and asked, Have you even thought about how your sister would feel? And Shen Yuan walks away saying, Stop thinking. I'm the man you can never have. As Li Meng was shocked and silent, a few moments later at the elevator, Shen Yuan said to himself, Damn, testing me like this, aren't you afraid of getting struck by lightning? At the couch, Li Meng throws the pillow in anger and said, You rotten pig, trotter, acting like some righteous gentleman, the man you can never have. Pa, I gave you a chance, you just didn't have the gut. Half an hour later, Shen Yuan waited outside for Li Xiao. She arrived, radiant, and said, Thanks for picking me up from work. Shen Yuan opened the car door for her. It's late. I was worried there might be bad people outside. Gee, she scolded, smiling. The worst person is you big pervert. How can you say that? He protested. When have I ever been a pervert? Elaborate. Li Xiao feigned outrage and battered at him through the open window. Shen Yuan laughed. So I passed the test perfectly, right? A test? Li Xiao blinked. Yes, tonight's test. He grinned. She remained puzzled. Tonight? The revolution has not succeeded yet, comrade. You still have a long way to go. One stolen kiss is not enough to move me. Shen Yuan remembered Li Meng's earlier words. Are you worried about something? And suddenly flushed. So Li Xiao doesn't know about Li Meng's test tonight. Does that mean Li Meng was serious? He wondered, smiling slyly. Nice, another pair of sisters. Buy one, get one free, huge profit. Li Xiao noticed his grin. Why are you suddenly smiling? Nothing, he replied. Just thought of something happy. Is taking me home really that joyful? She asked. Course. He drove a little faster, as if there were an emergency. They arrived soon. Li Meng looked up from the couch. Sis, you're back, eh? Why did Shen Yuan come with you? I never looked closely before, Shen Yuan thought as he glanced around. At 172 centimeters, Li Meng's got long legs and perkier hips, though her chest is smaller than the counselor's. The counselor, at 168 centimeters, isn't as tall, but her chest is fuller. Ignore him, Li Xiao said. He's just trying to show off. Li Meng blushed and excused herself, thinking, looks like Shen Yuan didn't tell Big Sis anything. I won't disturb your couple time. I'm going to the bedroom. Shen Yuan suddenly wrapped his arms around Li Xiao from behind. Don't mess around, she said, flustered. This is not messing around. It's getting straight to the point. He kissed her. Can you spare me today? I've been busy all day. I'm tired, she whispered. Course not, he murmured. Li Meng peeked through the slightly open door and thought, Shen Yuan, you meanie. A few minutes later, Li Xiao wiped her lips with a shy hand and said, Happy now, can you go home? It's almost midnight. I'll stay here tonight, Shen Yuan said. No, you really cannot. I already helped you, she protested. All right, he said, standing up. I'll sleep on the sofa. That's final. I'm tired. Later. Sitting on the sofa, Shen Yuan checked his phone and thought, looks like the counselor's already asleep. She's exhausted after the whole day. At 12:10 a.m., Shen Yuan messaged Li Meng. Are you still awake? Impatient, he went to her room. The door stood unlocked. Interesting, he thought as he stepped inside and found Li Meng in bed. Without hesitation, he pounced and she yelped, Ah, what are you doing? Shh, don't talk, he hushed. You actually came, she exclaimed, surprised. You left the door unlocked. Why wouldn't I come? He replied. Li Meng stammered what I said earlier was nonsense, just a moment of madness, don't take it seriously. I already took it seriously, he said, but his tone softened as he moved closer. She tried to steady her breathing, cheeks flushing. Shen Yuan teased, You're already so loud, sister-in-law. I haven't even... She clamped a hand over her mouth. Shen Yuan. What? He asked. Put the flash drive. Put it in, she whispered. Then beg me, he countered. Please, she breathed, and then folded around him. Outside, 2 kittens played on the balcony as the night hummed quietly. A few minutes later, Shen Yuan asked, Happy now? Li Meng remained silent, sweat on her brow, then murmured, I haven't been this satisfied in a very long time. He probed gently. Have you had other partners before? No, she replied. You're my first. I never did anything like that with my ex. Shen Yuan, you absolutely cannot let my sister know about this. He answered. Li Meng told herself inwardly that although this was not emotional betrayal, Shen Yuan still did not belong to her. He was her brother-in-law. If Li Xiao found out, she would be heartbroken. At that moment, Li Xiao was in the bathroom. Li Meng bolted upright, whispering in panic, Oh no, if Sis comes out and doesn't see you in the living room, we're finished. Hey, say something, what do we do? Li Meng fumbled for words as Shen Yuan checked his phone. Compared to those sneaking around at Sister Lin's house, this is nothing, he thought calmly. Don't panic. 3 minutes later, Li Meng let out a slow breath and whispered, Door closing. She returned to her room. She didn't notice you missing. Thank goodness. Shen Yuan grinned. How was it? A bit like riding a roller coaster. This is not fun at all, she admitted, tossing a pillow on the couch in frustration. It's terrifying, partner, get used to it. This will become the norm. The next morning, Li Xiao called from the kitchen. Shen Yuan, you awake. Go wash your face and brush your teeth. Breakfast is ready. Baby, Shen Yuan said as he padded in, smiling. It smells amazing. You worked so hard. Li Xiao froze, cheeks brightening. What did you call me? Baby, he repeated, wrapping his arms around her from behind. No, it's just the first time I've heard it. I'm not used to it, she said. You'll have plenty more chances to get used to it, he teased. It's too early for this. If Li Meng sees, it'll look bad. Go freshen up, she scolded, though she could not hide the pleased smile. Okay, he sang back. In the washroom, Shen Yuan watched Li Meng blush as she gargled in front of the mirror. She handed him a tube. Here, I already put toothpaste on it for you. He pulled her into a quick embrace. You treat me so well, partner. You pervert, she retorted, laughing as she swatted him. She's so different from last night, Shen Yuan thought. No affection meter, still purely a partner. Interesting. A little while later, Li Meng sat eating a sandwich in her sleeping clothes. Li Xiao, coming into the room, gasped and hurried over. Cover yourself properly. Shen Yuan is here. Oh, got it, Li Meng said, reddening as she adjusted her robe. Li Xiao sighed and gently told her sister, Don't look so unwilling. It's my fault. I didn't consider your feelings and let Shen Yuan stay over. From now on, I won't let him sleep here. What? Li Meng blurted. Inside, she panicked. Sis misunderstood. If Shen Yuan stops coming over, how am I supposed to solve my needs in the future? Out loud, she forced a smile. Sis, it's fine, really. I didn't mind at all. Really? Li Xiao asked. Really, Li Meng confirmed. Li Xiao turned to Shen Yuan and froze. You're eating so much? Were you starving? Li Meng nearly choked on her drink. Well, yesterday first with Sis, then with me. Of course his energy expenditure was huge. Shen Yuan flashed them a thumbs up. Baby, you cooked so well. This is the most amazing breakfast I've ever had in my entire life. Baby, I'm full. Later we can... Li Meng bolted up, face burning. I'll go back to my room. Li Xiao watched her sister retreat, confused. Why does she look so strange? Why is she blushing? Did she see Shen Yuan hugging me in the kitchen? No. Even so, that's not enough to make her blush. Strange. 9:30 a.m. at Jingfu Corporation. Manager Jia, explain this, Shen Yuan said, tossing a thick pile of documents on the desk. Manager Jia picked up the report upside down, corrected it, then paled. President Shen, it's not that serious, right? This is my company, Shen Yuan reminded him coldly. You stole money from my company, you tell me. Is it serious or not? Should I be serious? Manager Jia swallowed hard. President Shen, what can I do for you to show mercy? You and your men will leave the company immediately, Shen Yuan said, and you will tell me everything you know. The man trembled. I will talk, President Shen. I will tell you everything and then I will leave. And so, Jia Nanshu revealed every hidden issue and every parasite feeding off the company's medical. After he took over, President Shen did not fire me because, 1, he was waiting for a successor who could increase profits. 2, he wanted to use me to drag out the other leeches. What a strategist, Jia thought. Shen Yuan waved him off. Don't stand there. Go hand over everything to Yu Jifeng. Take all your documents. I'm not keeping copies. We're even. The rivers and lakes are long. I hope we never meet again. Jia Nanshu left, shaking his head. You've got to respect this young boss. He's got real skill. A moment later, Fu Yingzi stepped in. Boss, speak. Last time you told me to find a place near Guanting. Look, this one's less than 2,500 a month, with utilities included. How about it? Good, take that one. I'll contact the landlord. Shen Yuan checked his phone. Coach Liu? What now? He answered, and Liu Menglu's sobs poured through the receiver. Hubby, woo, hubby. What happened to you? Shen Yuan exclaimed. A few hours later, he arrived at her apartment. I'm already here, and you still haven't told me anything, he said, exasperated. You were never the type to cry like this. But Liu Menglu only sat on her $1 million bed, tears streaming. Shen Yuan finally stood. Fine, I'll leave. No, don't leave, Shen Yuan, she wailed, gripping his hand. She hugged him tightly, trembling. Lately, your workouts never last more than an hour, and you leave right after. Nothing new's happening at the fitness center. Shen Yuan, do you not need me anymore? Woo, he sweated. You're crying like this. Just because of that. Liu Menglu blushed deeply, looking up at him with watery eyes. Do you even remember how long it's been since you last heard me call you Daddy? Shen Yuan thought as Liu Menglu rested against his shoulder, their fingers gently intertwined. Now that you put it that way, it's been such a long time since I last gave Coach Liu proper attention. Out loud, he said, These days I've been busy fixing things at the company. If I don't clear out those useless people and rebuild the structure, how can I send you there to shine? Liu Menglu blinked. What do you mean? Shen Yuan leaned back against her soft warmth and answered, The improvement plans for the fitness center have already begun. The other 2 branches will follow. Once they finish their adjustments, you'll go over and check their results. I've got an official position at Jingfu, she asked in surprise. Course, Shen Yuan replied, a special consultant role in human resources. The company'll also pay you a salary. She cupped his face, kissed him softly, and murmured, Thank you, Daddy. You didn't forget me. How could I ever forget you? He said with a half laugh as she continued kissing him. What are you even thinking? I'm thinking, obviously, you and that big baby of yours, she teased. Still not enough, he said with a playful sigh. Liu Menglu turned around and posed in her new tight pants. Even that's not enough. Not quite, he answered, amused. Then she revealed a little surprise beneath the fabric and whispered, Then what about this, Daddy? Shen Yuan pinned her gently onto the bed with a laugh. All right, if you keep attacking me like that, I'll start to feel bad for you. She blushed. So you do know how to feel bad for me. 2 minutes later, Shen Yuan's phone vibrated. Li Yuhong messaged, Mr. Yuan, our bar's got its soft opening tonight. I gathered a group of old classmates. As a shareholder, you must show up. Shen Yuan replied, all right. A short while later, he arrived at the Tipsy Breeze bar. He looked around and thought, there's quite a lot of people, most of them probably friends Mr. Li Yuhong invited. Suddenly someone tapped his shoulder. Shen Yuan? He turned. You? It's me, your middle school classmate Jin Kangwen, the man laughed. I went to Yanjing for high school and uni too. Come on. All our classmates are over here. It's been years. We've got to drink properly. A few minutes later at the table, long time no see, Cheng Xian greeted. Long time no see, another said. You became even more handsome. A third added, I didn't expect the most good-looking bloke in class to end up being you. Shen Yuan shrugged off his hood. Where's Mr. Li Yuhong? He said he's got something to deal with and will come later, Cheng Xian replied. He told us to start drinking first. At a nearby table, a stylish woman whispered to her friend, That bloke's wearing the Frost Gold 2640, an 800,000 watch. Tisk, tisk. I thought a few blokes here were rich second-generation heirs, but it looks like the richest one just arrived. Cheng Xian sighed. Mr. Shen Yuan, looks like only the two of us don't have female companions. I heard foreign language majors have lots of pretty girls. Why don't you call two over? No need, Shen Yuan said calmly. There's plenty of pretty girls here. If you're interested, talk to one, just go. True. Then help me pick. Who looks good? Shen Yuan's gaze drifted across the room. Eh? That looks like Miss Chao Lei, the cosplay girl. Why's she here? Seems like she's assisting that streamer. I suddenly want to see her reaction if someone asks for her WeChat. He pointed casually. Those two over there look good. Try them. All right, watch me, Cheng Xian said as he stood up, already a little tipsy. Wow, premium quality. I'd better bring my A-game. Girls at places like this usually recognize value. With this 300,000 pilot watch, I should take him down easily. But when he showed off his phone to the ladies, Lei Lei immediately blocked him with a polite smile, leaving him speechless. A moment later he returned to Shen Yuan and grumbled, That influencer said she'll come drink with us after her live stream. The other girl said her WeChat got banned, but she also agreed to come after her friend finishes streaming. Shen Yuan thought, WeChat banned? What kind of excuse is that? He shook his head inwardly. Normally, everyone except Lady Lu Xinye at the startup base is incredibly materialistic. There's absolutely no way they'd turn down someone like Cheng Xiao. After about half an hour, he went to the washroom. Just as he reached the mirror, a voice called out, Hey, Shen Yuan! He glanced up and saw Lei Lei reflected behind him. Chao Lei, he replied. What are you doing here? Lei Lei crossed her arms, subtly lifting her generous curves, and gave him a knowing look. Stop pretending. I saw you the moment you walked in. You only noticed me late. Are you testing me? Trying to see if I'm the type who casually adds strange men on WeChat? She leaned closer and lowered her voice. Honestly, if you weren't here, I would have added him. What are you even talking about? Shen Yuan frowned. I didn't notice you until now. If I'd seen you earlier, I'd have called you already. There's no way I'd give another man a chance. She raised a brow. All right then. Later when I go to your booth, how should I act? Like we know each other or like strangers? Do whatever you want, he said calmly. I'm fine with either. Inwardly he thought, this girl really isn't pretentious. Direct. Interesting. A few moments later outside, Cheng Xian introduced someone to the group. Classmates, this is Qi, a major influencer in Xinjiang. I checked earlier. She's got over 800,000 fans on Kuayin. Qi laughed lightly. You're too kind, too kind. I'm just a small creator. Nice to meet everyone. Welcome, welcome, Cheng Xian said warmly. Please have a seat. One of the men leaned forward politely. This lovely lady, what should we call you? Hello, everyone, she replied with a bright smile. I'm Lai, Qi's friend. As she spoke, she shot Shen Yuan a quick glance. From now on, we're all friends, Cheng Xian declared. For our new friendship. Cheers. Thank you, Qi said lightly. Shen Yuan turned to Lei. Lei, do you drink? I normally don't, but if you want me to drink, I will, she answered softly. Then I'll drink one with you. Just one. She moved closer, took the glass, and downed it in one smooth motion. She blinked in surprise. This tastes like soda. It's champagne, Shen Yuan said. It barely has any alcohol. Lei leaned back toward him. By the way, did you look at my startup proposal? When are you planning to invest in me? Shen Yuan answered honestly. I remember you wanted to start a media company. That's not a small investment. You're not a streamer and you've got no core fan base. How's your company going to earn money? Who says I don't have fans? She huffed. I just haven't started streaming. My cosplay videos on Do. Well, I hardly post any, but I still have tens of thousands of followers. And I've got a lot of cosplay friends. They can all become streamers. Shen Yuan shook his head slightly, thinking, right now, my priority's building up the fitness center's video and operations. The media company'll have to wait. At a nearby angle, Li Yuhang spotted them and waved. Oh, everyone's here. Yuan, why did you run so far? Come here. Shen Yuan walked toward him with Lei trailing closely behind. You dog, you hooked the prettiest girl again. Li Yuhang teased. Hooked? Shen Yuan raised a brow. Brother, ever consider she came over on her own? Stop bragging, just because you're handsome. Xiao Lei stepped forward with a dazzling smile. Actually, it was me who came over. And yes, it is because he's handsome. Handsome enough that I kind of want to eat him up right now. She slipped her hand around Shen Yuan's arm and leaned subtly against him, her softness pressing gently, as if claiming territory. Across from them, Li Yuhang paused mid-thought as an unbidden image flashed in his mind. Shen Yuan and Lei far too close for his comfort. Darn, got flexed on again, he muttered helplessly. Li Yuhang said, Go on, you guys, keep drinking. I'm going to hang out with the other classmates. He said to himself, that bastard Shen Yuan's seriously insane. He's got the long-legged cafe manager, the insanely attractive teacher, and now a fair-skinned, pure-looking classmate. Ugh, good girls always end up wasted on scrub bags. Shen Yuan said, not going to chat a bit more? Li Yuhang said, you dog, you're a shareholder, yet you don't handle a single thing. You just go around flirting with girls. What in the world am I supposed to chat with you about? Shen Yuan said. You and Manager Xiao already made this bar run so well. What do you need me for? Li Yuhang, annoyed, said, get lost, get lost. Li Lei said, Shen Yuan, you're actually a shareholder here. You really do have a huge empire. Shen Yuan glanced at her and said, yours are pretty big too. Lei blushed and said, do I really have to be this straightforward? Shen Yuan said, did I not learn it from you? Cheng Xian said, darn it, she's completely throwing herself at him. She's practically offering herself. Qi blushed. His old friend with a cap said, right? Another friend said, she looks so pure, yet she's this proactive. Lei said, Shen Yuan, I feel dizzy. Shen Yuan said, one drink and you're dizzy? Even the stray dogs outside can drink more than you. Lei said, don't compare me to a dog. A dog's not prettier than me, right? Shen Yuan said, are you pretty? Lei grabbed Shen Yuan's arm closer, pressing her huge chest. and said, blushing, "Am I not?" Shen Yuan said, "Maybe slightly prettier than a dog." Lei said, "Shen Yuan, take me back. I want to sleep." A few moments later, Lei said, "Cheeky, I'm sleepy. I'm heading back." Shen Yuan said, "Sorry, everyone. I've got something to handle. I'll leave first. Next time we hang out again." Li Yuhang threw Shen Yuan's jacket at him and said, annoyed, "Go, go, go. Hurry up and enjoy yourself." Jin said, "Keep in touch. We're all in Xingchong during vacation. Let's meet more often." Chi said, Go ahead. Message me when you get home." She said to herself, "Xiao Lei rarely came to places like this. She wasn't an easy girl. What kind of spell did this bloke use to take her down instantly?" Cheng Xian thought, he'd barely arrived and already took the prettiest one to a hotel. Maybe I should ask Cheng Xian to swap watches with me a few moments outside. Shen Yuan and Lei walked with their hands clasped together as Shen Yuan said, "Where are you going? The dorm?" Lei said, "Why are you giving me the dorm option? Shen Yuan, do you seriously not want anything to happen between us?" Shen Yuan said, "You're a girl. Can you be more subtle?" Lei said, "Subtle? We're adults. What cannot be said directly, just say it. Do you want to or not?" Shen Yuan said, "Course it's not that I don't want to, then let's go." Lei said, "That's more like it. But even if you want it tonight, I won't give it to you." "Do you want to know why?" Shen Yuan said. "Not really," Lei said, "but I'll say it anyway. A girl's first time is precious. I want to go on a few more dates with you." Shen Yuan said, "Okay, I understand," Lei said. "I applied to the entrepreneurship base for money. I know the price I need to pay, so I'm not running." Shen Yuan said, "Good." He said to himself, she was materialistic and blunt, but she still had her own bottom line. Not bad. She knew what she wanted and what it took. A few moments later at the room, Shen Yuan said, "You can stay in this room as long as you want. I'll leave first. Rest well." Lei suddenly grabbed the wrist of Shen Yuan and said, "Wait," as she blushed and looked at Shen Yuan, saying, "How about you kiss me before you go?" Shen Yuan stared at her huge features and said, "Courting affection." Lei said, "No, I just want to know what a kiss feels like." As Shen Yuan took off his hood and slowly got closer to kiss Lei said, "I am only asking for one kiss." As Shen Yuan grabbed her coat and said, "I know," suddenly Shen Yuan moves down and said, "But you didn't say where to kiss." As Lei was shocked and blushed. While Shen Yuan tries to kiss some melons, Lei's knees suddenly tremble. Shen Yuan said, "Not bad." "Sweet, like milk." Lei suddenly covers herself and said, "Are you like this with all the other girls you don't need to persuade?" Shen Yuan said, "No need to persuade. They come along on their own." Lei said, "I don't believe that. Bragger, but it was pretty comfortable. Still, today's an nerve." Shen Yuan said, "Whether it works or not isn't up to you. Remember, you're just reserve squad. You're not official yet. Today, I'm just sparing you." As Shen Yuan went out, Lei said, "What do you mean? Reserve?" Shen Yuan said, "You'll understand later." Lei went back to the room and said to herself, "Good, he was desirous, but at least not that kind of desirous." As she touched her melon, she said to herself, "I'm so useless." Sigh. 12:30 at night. Shen Yuan arrives at Li Xiao's apartment. Li Meng opens the door and said, "Why did you come so late?" Shen Yuan said, "I got drunk, couldn't find a place to sleep." Li Meng said, "That lie works on my sister, not on me. Are you looking for her or for me? If it's her, she's already asleep." "If it's me, sorry. This lady's also going to bed. Find me another day when I'm in the mood." Shen Yuan said, "I just want to sleep on your sofa." Li Meng said, "What now? You want to force your—" As Shen Yuan came inside, Shen Yuan suddenly pulls Li Meng and she whispered, "Softer, my sister will hear." Shen Yuan said, "Relax, let's go into the bedroom." Li Xiao came out of her room confused as she heard some noise. Shen Yuan closed the door of Li Meng and Li Meng sweated, saying to herself, "Shoot! You shut the door too loudly. You must have woken her." Li Xiao said on the other side of the door, "Li Meng, are you asleep? What was that sound?" "I heard a noise." Li Meng said, "Sis, I just went to the bathroom. I closed the door too hard." Li Xiao said, "Oh, all right then." Whew! Thank goodness she didn't ask more questions. Back to her room. Shen Yuan, you bastard. Your guts are enormous. Are you not afraid she'll catch us? If she catches us, then we'll just all do it together. In your dreams. Ow, hey. Sneak attacking me again. Can you be gentle for once? Shen Yuan says, is this still not gentle enough? I already held back, didn't I? Li Meng bites Shen Yuan's thumb and says, you were completely out of it from drinking. You don't know your own strength. 2 rounds later. Li Meng says, let's not do this at home anymore. It's too risky. We'll go to hotels from now on. Shen Yuan rests on her soft thighs. No way, I'm a broke student. Where would I get the money to book a room? She sweats and says, Shen Yuan, how can you be this shameless? The stuff you bought for my sister and me already cost tens of thousands, and you still have the nerve to say you can't afford a room. She pinches his arm. Shen Yuan yelps in pain. Ah, ouch, ouch, ouch. He sits up. Li Meng says, so you do know pain. I told you to be gentle, and you went all rough. It makes me not even want to be your partner anymore. You don't know how to treat a girl gently. Shen Yuan suddenly kisses her and says, if not me, then who else would you partner with? Next time, I'll definitely be gentle. Trust me. Li Meng says, Shen Yuan walks out of the room. Li Meng thinks to herself, this bloke's probably the peak of shamelessness, and yet I still can't do anything about him. I really need to think of a way to deal with him next time. The next day, Li Xiao says, Shen Yuan, when did you come? Shen Yuan says, around 1 in the morning last night. Li Meng opened the door for me. Li Xiao says, did something happen? Shen Yuan says, nah, I just missed you so much I couldn't sleep. Li Xiao says, is that so? She kisses him and says, tell me earlier next time. She then walks away saying, sleep a bit more. I'll make breakfast and wake you later. Shen Yuan says, at the bathroom. Li Xiao says, Li Meng? Li Meng says, huh? Sis? What's up? Li Xiao says, Shen Yuan came over last night. Why didn't you wake me? Li Meng says, it was too late. I was afraid of disturbing your rest. Li Xiao says, was he feeling down at the time? If he comes again late at night, you must wake me up, all right? Li Meng thinks to herself, my dear sister, feeling down my arse. He came for a midnight sneak attack. If not me, then you. She says, got it. He just had a few drinks, nothing else. Half an hour later, Li Meng says, Shen Yuan, my sister made breakfast for you. You getting up or what? Shen Yuan opens his eyes and says, oh. Li Xiao, looking lovely, says, Shen Yuan, come eat. Shen Yuan thinks. She casually tied an apron and instantly turned into a stunning home chef. With her looks and figure, she was truly blessed by fate. Li Xiao says, oi, 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 hurry up and eat your breakfast, will ya? Where are you looking? Shen Yuan, like a zombie, says, oh, still half asleep, doing whatever he's told. Li Meng thinks to herself, wait, he's my sister's boyfriend. There's nothing wrong with him looking at her. Why am I stopping him? Am I jealous? We're just partners, no feelings involved. Could it be that old saying, feelings develop over time? But that don't make sense. It's only been 2 nights. She watches Shen Yuan eating like a kid. Li Xiao says, I've already eaten. Shen Yuan, eat slowly. I'm going to get changed. Shen Yuan says, I'll take you to school later. Li Meng says, why ain't you taking me to work? Shen Yuan says, what are you thinking, we're just partners, I'll take you another day when I feel like it. Li Meng says, heartless jerk, shameless. Her heart rating towards Shen Yuan is at 65. Shen Yuan thinks, looks like this partner ain't just craving me anymore. Now she wants feelings too. Very good, he says. What time's your flight? Li Meng says. 11 o'clock. Why, you sending me off? Shen Yuan says, I'll leave with your sister. Drop her off first, then send you. We should reach the airport around 10:30. Li Meng says, all right, half an hour later. Li Xiao closes the car door and says, this is fine, bye. Teacher Sun suddenly says, Teacher Li. Li Xiao looks back and says, Teacher Sun, why are you here? Teacher Sun, all excited for the new gossip, says, that's not important. What's important is that I just discovered a massive secret. Li Xiao sweats and says, What secret? Teacher Sun says, what do you think? There's no one in the international department who doesn't recognize that big G class. Li Xiao sweats and looks ahead saying, Ahaha, that? Ahaha, I ran into one of my students on the way, and he just gave me a ride. Teacher Sun says, that excuse might fool others, but not me. So tell me, how long have you been together, and how far has it progressed? Li Xiao blushes and says, oh no, that's not it. Teacher Sun says, that's boring. Are you even treating me like a best friend? Li Xiao says, we're really not together. Teacher Sun says, then that means he's pursuing you, or you're about to make it official. That can't be wrong, right? I knew it. You were on the phone with Shen last time, weren't you? No wonder I said you smelled different. Teacher Li, this is totally like love all over again, an older woman fallen for a younger man. Li Xiao runs away saying, Teacher Sun, stop teasing me. Teacher Sun says, kind and gentle meets handsome and rich. Oh my goodness, this is way too perfect to ship. Li Xiao says, can you stop talking nonsense? Teacher Sun says, fine then, tell me, how did it start? How did he open your heart? At the same time, Shen says, isn't the back seat more comfortable? Li Meng says, mind your own business. I want the front seat. Shen thinks, this partner's fierce all day long, needs some discipline. He says, I'll help you call a cab later. I just remembered I've got something urgent. Li Meng says, you dare? If you don't take me to the airport today, I'm not getting out of this car no matter what. Shen says, it really is urgent. A taxi or my car makes no difference. You'll arrive on time. Li Meng says, Shen you're being shameless again, aren't you? I haven't even settled last night's score with you. Shen says, you'll get used to it. Later you'll even like it. Believe it or not. Li Meng says, I told you to drive, not drive like this. Speaking of the car, how much is it? Shen says, about 3 million after everything. Li Meng says, yeah, right. Suddenly Shen holds her soft thighs. Li Meng sweats and is confused. She pushes his hands away. She blushes and says, we're on a public road. What are you doing? Shen says, isn't this what you wanted? Damn it. What do you even have in your head? That's obviously not what I meant. Shen says, then what did you mean? Li Meng says, be normal, brother. Shen says, watch it next time. Don't casually say things that sound ambiguous. Li Meng says, so now it's my fault. Let me ask something serious. You seem pretty rich. How did you make your money? Shen says, I started trading digital currency and foreign exchange back in freshman year. Now I run my own company. Li Meng says, whoa! When you marry my sister, I might as well just lie flat too. You wouldn't mind raising one more person, would you? Shen says, if you were like your sister, I could consider it. But at your current level, you're still lacking. How about eating papaya for 2 more years and then we'll talk? Li Meng says, you pig foot, you're getting more outrageous. When I get off work, I'll tell my sister to dump you. Shen says, if your sister dumps me, what do you get out of it? Wouldn't you just lose your partner? Li Meng says, you don't feel good unless you take advantage of me, huh? I don't want this kind of partner anyway. Only thinking about himself. Stop starring and focus on driving. She puts on some lipstick. Shen says, if I'm willing to look, that means you look good, and you're still unhappy. Fine. Next time, even if you ask me to look, I won't. He looks ahead. Li Meng says, oh, really? She shows off some of her secret. Suddenly Shen steps on the brakes. They stop at an intersection. Shen says, you did that on purpose? Li Meng says, did what on purpose? Shen says, you probably don't know the consequences of doing this. Li Meng says, what consequences? You're not going to do something right here in the car, are you? Shen breathes heavily and says, you're playing with fire. Li Meng says, yes. And what can you do about it? She stretches her legs. People on the bus watch from a distance. A bloke says, damn it, being rich is nice, having a flight attendant with you. His mate says, sounds so good. I want to try too. Another takes a picture and says, looks like I need to work harder. Then I can have a luxury car and a beauty. His mate says, damn capitalism, hogging all the good resources. The G-Wagon suddenly speeds off. The sat-nav says, navigation route deviated. Replanning for you now. Li Meng sweats and says, what are you doing? This ain't the road to the airport. Shen Yuan says, who said we're going to the airport? Li Meng says, my flight's at 11. I'll be late. Shen Yuan says, we've got time. It's 9:50 now. 15 minutes to the airport. I can wrap this up within 30 minutes. Li Meng says, Shen Yuan, calm down. Shen Yuan says, I've wanted to see you in this uniform for a long time. A few moments later, a lad's confused as the G-Wagon's shaken violently. The lad says, Mum, look, dancing car. It keeps on violent shaking, the mum says. Go, go, this thing might explode. The car broke down. Hurry, faster. Grrr. She thinks to herself, doing this on the road in broad daylight. Too scared to take it home, huh? No public decency. Scrub bag. 45 seconds later, Shen Yuan finishes. At the airport. Li Meng's mate says, Yo, Li Meng, dating someone. It's getting cold, and you're still showing your legs. Driving a G63? Anyone who buys that kind of car ain't short on money. Li Meng says, he's not my boyfriend. More like my brother-in-law. The mate says, what do you mean more like? Li Meng says, because my sister hasn't agreed yet. The mate's confused. Huh? Li Meng blushes and thinks to herself, you pig foot, you even ruined my new stockings. Next time I see you, I won't let you off easily. Half an hour later, Jingfu Company. Shen Yuan says, I bought you lunch. Let's eat together. How have you been lately? Man again, okay? Fu Yingzi says, it's fine for now. I only go back to school for important classes. Otherwise, I work normally. Shen Yuan says, how familiar are you with human resources now? Fu Yingzi says, modestly speaking, about 90%. I'll rotate to the online operations department next week. Shen Yuan says, good. Online operations are a key department right now. The previous traffic performance wasn't ideal, so Manager Sun made major adjustments. In a couple of days, I'll arrange for a special consultant to come in directly. She'll handle the details. You'll assist her. Fu Yingzi says, understood. Shen Yuan says, you need to put in more effort and build our own team as soon as possible. Most of the old employees are just slacking off. I don't want any of them. Fu Yingzi says, I understand, boss. System notification. Mission. Increase Jingfu Company's net profit by 5% within 3 months. Progress, 1%. Shen Yuan thinks, it's been over a week since the mission was issued. Departments are only just starting to implement the new plans. There's no guarantee it can be completed. First time managing a company. Profits ain't that easy to boost. Honestly, I'm unsure. All I can do is follow my understanding, combine it with what I learned in executive business administration and human resource management, and at least have a clear conscience. He says, Zhuwei? Zhuwei's calling him. Shen Yuan answers. Zhuwei says, Shen Yuan, the villa renovation's almost finished. They're laying tiles and painting now. Do you want to come take a look? Shen Yuan says, all right, I'll come later. He thinks, there's not much to see at the site. The remaining payment of 5 million's already been made, but I haven't seen Su Zhuwei in a while. Might as well go. A few moments later, Zhuwei says, my boss asked me to tell you about the smart home system. You'll be able to control everything from your phone. Appliances, temperature, humidity. If there's a gas or water leak, your phone will receive an alert. Shen Yuan says, you're telling me so much. How am I supposed to remember it all? Once you move in, stay here with me for 2 days. Then you'll know everything. Zhuwei blushes and says, I still need to cook at home for my mum and Xiaoji. Shen Yuan says, that's easy. I'll hire a nanny for 2 days. How about that? Zhuwei says, by the way, Shen Yuan, I remember all the money I owe you. I'll definitely pay you back someday. She's changing the subject. Shen Yuan says, We're family, no need to be so distant. Shu Wei says, Shen Yuan? Don't. My boss is still upstairs. Shen Yuan hugs her from behind and says, Then let's go to the media room and close the door. He gently holds her tummy. Shu Wei thinks to herself, last time, he'd already crossed the line like that. I didn't expect him to be even bolder this time. She says, Shen Yuan, can you be a little gentler? Shen Yuan smells her melons. Zhu Wei says, my boss might come down. Shen Yuan thinks, the atmosphere grew intense. Far more than I'd imagined. It wasn't just closeness, but the unfamiliar sense of pressure and warmth. Zhu Wei says, gentle, gentler. Shen Yuan thinks her waist was slender and soft, her figure firm and graceful. Truly striking. Zhu Wei says, ah, it hurts. Shen Yuan opens his eyes. Zhu Wei says, sorry, I couldn't control myself. Shen Yuan says, I was the one who got impatient. Her heart rating towards Shen Yuan is at 74. Zhu Wei says, Shen Yuan, can we go back upstairs later? Shen Yuan says, all right. He thinks Zhu Wei's affection levels increased. That makes sense. In a private setting, with close interaction, emotions are more likely to surge. 20 minutes later, Zhu Wei thinks to herself, I wanted to ask what exactly our relationship is now, but this kind of question should probably be brought up by the man first, right? Shen Yuan says, what's wrong? Zhu Wei says, nothing. How about we find a day to have a meal together? My mum really wants to thank you. Shen Yuan says, sure, then today let's eat together first. 2 hours later, Shen Xuan says, Xinyu, what did you grow up eating? Xinyu says, regular food. Shen Xuan says, I mean, here. She pokes her melon. Xinyu's gobsmacked. She says, Xuan, stop messing around, I don't know either. Shen Xuan says, tisk tisk, really enviable. Shen Yuan arrives. Nana says, you're here? Have you had dinner? Shen Yuan says, I have. Nana says, then do you want to take a bath now? You haven't used the bathtub yet. I'll run some water for you. Shen Yuan says, all right. Shen Xuan says, Xinyu, look, sister-in-law's spoiled my brother rotten. She even runs his bathwater. At this rate, even an emperor wouldn't live this comfortably. Xinyu and Shen Xuan watch them. Shen Yuan says, Xuan, why are you here again? Which room are you sleeping in? Shen Xuan says, I'm here to take care of sister-in-law and Xinyu. Of course, I'm sleeping with Xinyu. 2 fragrant girls sleeping together. Shen Yuan takes the bag of crisps and says, give me a break. With how lazy you are, you taking care of sister-in-law. It'd already be good enough if she doesn't have to take care of you. Shen Xuan says, oi, don't finish it all, brother. Shen Yuan takes a crisp. Xinyu stands up and says, brother-in-law, if you want more I can go downstairs and buy some. Shen Xuan says, Xinyu, buy what? Even you're spoiling him now. Shen Yuan thinks, Xinyu's affection started at 60 and is now 63. Steady progress. This is a healthy growth pace. Xinyu's heart rating towards Shen Yuan is at 63. Nana says, Shen Yuan, you can come in now. Shen Yuan tosses the crisp bag and says, come in. Xinyu says, I think it's nice to be able to do something for brother-in-law. He's done so much for my sister and our family. It's only right that we take care of him a little. Shen Xuan says, right my foot, hands out for clothes, mouth open for food. You've all spoiled him into a giant baby. Xinyu sits down and says, these are all very small things. They don't really count for much. She thinks to herself, even if it were me. Shen Xuan says, huh? Xinyu, why did your face suddenly turn red? Xinyu says, did it? Shen Xuan says, course it did, your face is burning, can't you feel it yourself? Xinyu says, I don't know. Shen Xuan says, don't tell me. You also like my brother. Confess honestly. She tickles her. Xinyu says, ahaha. How could that be? Ahaha. Xuan, stop teasing her. At the bathroom, Shen Yuan says, so comfortable. Nana, I feel like every pore in my body's relaxed. Nana says, perfect, I'll massage you a bit more. Shen Yuan says, you know how to massage. When did you learn? Nana says, online. I practiced on Shen Yu a couple of times these past few days. She said it felt pretty good. If the pressure's off, just tell me. Shen Yuan says, Nana, you've learned bad habits. Nana says, I learned it for you. Shen Yuan says, even if you practiced on Shen Yu, there's no way you could improve this fast. Nana says, I learned by watching videos. I secretly studied for several nights. How is it? Shen Yuan says, Nana, you're really impressive. Come in together, Nana. He smells her knee. A few moments later, Shen Yuan helps Nana scrub her back. She says, Shen Yuan. Suddenly Shen Yuan's Chinese phone rings. Nana says, your phone keeps ringing. Is something wrong? Shen Yuan says, even something big ain't as important as what we're doing right now. Half a minute later, Hui sends a picture and says, Shen Yuan, I haven't seen you in so long. I really miss you. I know you miss me too, so I'll reward you with a few pictures. Enjoy. Shen Yuan says, seen. He thinks, Hui-Wei's getting more and more mischievous. Hui-Wei thinks to herself, that's it? Just 2 words after all this time? She sends a message saying, are you sure it's seen and not already dealt with? Shen Yuan says, you're underestimating me. Do you really think this kind of plain stuff would move me? Hui says then, do you want me to send something better? Shen Yuan says, I'll appreciate it. Please send immediately. Hui thinks to herself, Yuan Bao's clearly being tempted, but I'll keep him hanging. That's the fun of love. She sends a message saying, in your dreams, not sending. Shen Yuan thinks, next is Lei. As for her, she needs to be kept waiting a little longer. Xiao Lei says, meeting up. Shen Yuan says, little sister, we're not meeting. Xiao Lei says, huh? Still not meeting? I don't believe it. She sends a message saying, stop it. Just because I didn't give you yesterday, you really won't meet me now. I'm still your chosen one, you know. Shen Yuan says, yes, I'm the type who holds grudges. Xiao Lei says, my heart may be small, but I gave you my first kiss and my sincerity, okay? Shen Yuan says, you need to line up. First come, first served. Shen Yuan smiles. Xiao Lei gets frustrated. Xiao Lei says, who else is there? Someone bigger than me? Better skin than mine? Shen Yuan sent a message saying, forget it. I'm not joking with you anymore. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Lei said, yay, then come pick me up. We'll decide the exact time and place tomorrow. Shen Yuan said, okay. He said to himself, this girl even stole my line, as Chenna sleeps peacefully in his arms. A few moments later, Lu Menglu suddenly sent a message. Daddy, when are we working out? Shen Yuan replied, the day after tomorrow. Long Jinghan also sent a message saying, when do you have time to meet? Shen Yuan replied, I'm pretty busy. I'll set a time later. Shen Yuan said to himself, last time Xiaolong came to deliver documents, I even promised to meet her this week, and then completely forgot after all this back and forth. Long Jinghan reads the message of Shen Yuan and said to herself, Shen Yuan, as the winds blew cold outside. Long Jinghan sent a reply saying, okay. Chenna suddenly woke up and said, Shen Yuan, your birthday's coming up. How are you planning to celebrate? She said to herself. Shen Yuan probably has other women too. I wonder if I'll get the chance to spend time with him. Shen Yuan said, I'll stay with you. Let's go on a trip. Chenna suddenly got excited and said, really? That's great. Shen Yuan came close to her and said, course. Nana, you smell so nice. How about we... And he hugs her close as Chenna blushed and said, did we not just... Shen Yuan kissed her and said, 1 round's not enough. I wish I could spend the whole day with you. As Chenna said, and she holds the sheets tight. In Shen Yuan's dream, Lin Yuchang said, sisters first. I can wait as the elder sister. Fang Minhui, crawling, said, Shen Yuan said I'm the main one, so I'll go first. Liu Menglu said on the ground, skinny boy, open the zipper. Li Xiao, fixing her hair, said, Shen Yuan, do you like it? Li Meng in her flight stewardess uniform said, what about this uniform? Are you sure you want to be with me after them? as Chen Na on her robe seductively poses and was just silently beautiful. Chen Jinyu blushed and said, "Brother-in-law, mess me up completely." Long Jing'an said, "What kind of role play are we doing this time? I'm very excited about it." Su Shuwei said, "I'm ready, Shen Yuan. Please be gentle. It's my first time." Lei Lei with her schoolgirl uniform said, "Choose. Which one should I wear?" Shen Yuan suddenly woke up and was shocked. He sat up and said to himself, "Blast it. What am I even thinking? Is such a blissful harem life even possible?" As Chen Na fixed her bra, she said, "What were you dreaming about last night? I heard you talking in your sleep." Shen Yuan said, "I was talking in my sleep. What did I say?" Chen Na turns around and said, "I couldn't hear clearly, just several names." Shen Yuan gets nervous and said, "Probably work-related. I've been a bit fired up lately." He said to himself, "Good thing it was Nana. If it were teacher Li or Su Juewei, that could have been troublesome." A few moments outside, Chen Xinyu fixed some steamy hot breakfast and said, "Sis, brother-in-law Xuan Xuan." "Breakfast is ready," Shen Xuan said. "So lavish, Xinyu, you're really biased. When it's just me, I don't even get half of my brother's treatment." Chen Xinyu said, "There's only 3 of us, and we don't eat much. Too much would go to waste." Shen Xuan hugs Chen Xinyu from behind and said, "I'm the one who loves you most, yet I still lost out." Chen Xinyu said, "All right, Xuan Xuan, stop fooling around." A few moments later, they all sat down and Chen Na said, "Try it. How's my sister's cooking?" Shen Yuan drinks the steamy soup and he said, "Very talented. Almost catching up to you, Nana." Chen Jinyu blushed and said, "Thank you, brother-in-law." Shen Xuan looks at Chen Xinyu and said to herself, "She wants the duck." Chen Na said to herself, "One compliment from Shen Yuan and she's already blushing. Why are these two still so awkward?" as Shen Yuan continues to eat. 15 minutes later, after breakfast, Chen Na said, "Xinyu, you've been with your brother-in-law for quite a while now, but you still seem tense. Is it hard to adapt here? Or is he hard to get along with?" Chen Xinyu said, "Huh? No, not at all. Brother-in-law's very good to me. Maybe I just haven't adapted yet." Chen Na said, "He's actually very approachable and likes joking around. Spend more time with him and you'll see. Don't feel pressured. This is your home too, and it always will be." Chen Xinyu said, "I understand, sister." As she sighs in relief, she said to herself, "I thought my sister noticed that I like my brother-in-law. Turns out she just misunderstood." Chen Na said, "Your brother-in-law's birthday's coming up. Get him a small gift and chat with him more. It'll help you feel closer." Chen Jinyu said to herself, "Even though sister supports me getting closer to brother-in-law, the closer I get, the more conflicted I feel. Is this really appropriate?" A few moments later, Shen Yuan parked outside. As Lei Lei eats her lollipop, suddenly an old geezer saw Lei Lei coming. The old geezer said, "Where are you headed, beautiful? Want big brother to give you a ride." Lei Lei said, "You? How much did your car cost?" Old geezer said, "Enough to mess you up." Lei Lei said, "Tisk per, I'm not riding." The old geezer gets annoyed and sweats, saying, "Have you watched too many short videos? You really think everyone drives luxury wagons?" Lei Lei walks away and said, "Sorry, my boyfriend drives one. Not expensive. Just over 3 million. As she opens the door, she said, "Why didn't you pick me up at the school gate? At least let me show off a bit." Shen Yuan said, "Didn't you just show off?" Lei Lei got inside and said, "Not enough. Showing off at the school gate's the best, especially when everyone's around." As she sucks her lollipop and puts on the seatbelt, Shen Yuan said, "If you really want that, you'll need to complete the earlier steps first." Lei Lei said, "Ugh, all you do is bully me." "So, should we go to a motel and complete it now?" Shen Yuan said, "What? Want me to break the seal?" Lei Lei said, "No, I just want to know where we're going." Shen Yuan said, "To the bank. I need to handle something." As Long Jinghan watches them went away, Long Jinghan said, "Shen Yuan." As the wind blew her delicate hair, she said to herself, "Am I really that insignificant? Even Qiao Lei gets better treatment than me. Why? as she grabs her skirt in frustration. In the car, Lele said. Fine. Her lollipop already went white after sucking it dry. She slowly shows off some of her skin as the air conditioning of the car is broken. Shen Yuan said, You, as he tries to peek. Lele zips up her jacket and said, Since we're going to the bank, today's benefits end here. Focus on driving. Shen Yuan thought, Looks like this girl really wants to seize the initiative. But who does she think I am? No way I'll follow her script so easily. Lele said, What are you going to the bank for? Shen Yuan said, Opening a private account. Lele said, A private account? Just how much money do you have? Shen Yuan said, About the same as Boss Lei from Xiaomi. Lele looks out and said, Liar. I'm not a child. I won't believe that nonsense. Shen Yuan said, What? So if I'm not as rich as him, you won't go out with me? As Shen Yuan suddenly grabs the buckle of her seatbelt, Lele was shocked and blushed as she said, Lele slaps the wrist of Shen Yuan away and said, Shen Yuan, you're taking advantage of me again. Shen Yuan said, One touch is worth over 300. I'll treat you to a lunch worth more than 300 at noon. Consider it even. Lele said, 300 won't do. At least a luxury Western meal. Over 1,000 per person. Shen Yuan said fine. A few moments later at the bank, a man said to himself, Just look at what he's wearing and the top-tier beauty beside him. You can tell he's rich. His friend said to himself, We're all squeezed in line at 2 counters, but he looks like a leader inspecting work, with people following him around. As Shen Yuan and Lele walk inside, a few moments later they sat on the couch. A beautiful attendant said, Mr. Shen, your deposit balance at our bank has long met the criteria for private banking. We'd like to invite you to open a private account. Our benefits are among the best in the industry. In the future, we can handle services on site for you. For large transactions, we can process them immediately. This includes domestic and international airport VIP lounges, chauffeured transportation, overseas medical services, golf clubs, yacht clubs, and more. As Lele imagines her life with Shen Yuan and blushed, she said to herself, Just depositing money and opening an account brings social status and privileges ordinary people can't enjoy. Just how rich is Shen Yuan for the bank to fawn over him like this? Beautiful attendant said, Mr. Shen, you can consult me at any time. Do you have any other questions? Shen Yuan said, No. Number's last digit set to my birthday. Beautiful attendant said, Course. Do you have your identification with you? I'll process it right away. Half an hour later. Beautiful attendant said, Mr. Shen, congratulations on becoming a distinguished private banking client of China Merchants Bank. This is your black card. Supporting your family's prosperity is our duty. We also have exclusive wealth management products for private banking clients, if you're interested. Shen Yuan said, I don't need wealth management products. If I have additional funds later, I'll prioritize depositing them here. Beautiful attendant said, All right, then I won't disturb your date. We also have some gifts for you. This is a dye green tea cake from Yunnan. Please accept it. Lele sweats and said, Thank you. Shen Yuan stood up and said, Let's go. Beautiful attendant said, Mr. Shen, I'll see you out. A few moments later, Shen Yuan and Lele get in the car. Beautiful attendant said to herself, This really opened my eyes. Only 21 years old and already deposited 30 million. That doesn't even count what he has in other banks. Her friend said, Yeah. His fixed assets and businesses must be even more impressive. Rich, handsome, and with natural presence, he's got every advantage stacked. And the other attendant said, I don't know if it's the so-called rich filter, but the more I look, the better he seems. Beautiful attendant said to herself, Sigh. Too bad I wasn't born prettier, otherwise I might have tried too, as she blushed. Inside the car, Lele said to herself, He didn't spend a single cent, yet enjoys all kinds of unbelievable treatment. Lele said, Oh right, Shen Yuan. Who else are you meeting later? Shen Yuan said, You don't know her. Lele said, Is she like me, just accompanying you for errands and then going home? Or will you two? Shen Yuan said, she'll stay with me the whole time, including tonight. Lei Lei said, then does that mean you'll end up sleeping with her tonight? Shen Yuan said, is sleeping with me such a loss? Lei Lei said, it's not about gain or loss. She said to herself, the easier a man gets something, the less he cherishes it. I'm not that foolish. Besides, I still need to figure out how many women Shen Yuan has around him, and whether I even have a chance to become the main one. A few moments later at the expensive restaurant, Lei Lei looks at her phone and said, wow, I've only seen this restaurant in online videos. As she only ordered pancakes, Shen Yuan said, the pan-seared foie gras and pike with lobster sauce are the main dishes. If you're not used to that, I also ordered burgundy beef stew. Lei Lei said, where are we going after eating? Shen Yuan said, each of us goes back to our own home. Lei Lei sweats and said, huh? I thought today was entirely mine. Shen Yuan said, course not. I've got other appointments this afternoon and evening. Lei Lei said, who else did you make plans with? Shen Yuan said, you don't know. Lei Lei said, so when can I spend a whole day with you? Shen Yuan said, I don't have that much time. At most, half a day, from night to the next daytime. Suddenly Long Jinghan sent a message saying, you like this? As she wore her bunny suit. A few moments later she sent another message saying, or this? As she wore a tight and little Chinese red dress. A few moments later she sent another message saying, or this? As Long Jinghan wore a two-piece black swimsuit as she poses sexy, Shen Yuan said to himself, what's going on? As his eyes were glued on his phone, the waiter served their food as Lei Lei looks at the handsome. Shen Yuan said to himself, did she get stimulated by something? Shen Yuan sent a message saying, what's wrong? Long Jinghan replied and said, nothing, just asking about your preferences. Shen Yuan replied, all are fine. Long Jinghan said, so when are you free? Shen Yuan said, today works. Lei Lei suddenly said, Shen Yuan, why are you on your phone the whole time while eating? Stop playing around and talk to me. Shen Yuan said, talk about what? As he still looks at his phone waiting for Long Jinghan's reply. Lei Lei said, just normal chatting. Shen Yuan said, conversation should come naturally, not be forced. When there's something to say, it'll come. Lei Lei said to herself, if you don't want to talk to me, just say so. Don't make excuses, you jerk. Lei Lei said, you're not eating and you won't talk. I've lost my appetite. Shen Yuan said, then let's go. He raised his hand and said, waiter, the bill, please. The waiter suddenly arrived and said, sir, the total is 2,492 yuan. You may scan here. As Shen Yuan scans the bill, Shen Yuan said, I kept my promise. Lei Lei in anger stood up and blushed, saying, got it. 30 minutes later, Lei Lei said, you're really sending me back to school? Shen Yuan said, what else? I still have things to do. As Lei Lei goes down and said, oh, suddenly Long Jinghan holds the door and she looks away. Lei Lei said to herself, darn it. This. As Long Jinghan goes inside the car, Lei Lei suddenly grabs the door and said, Shen Yuan, what's going on? Shen Yuan said to Long Jinghan, buckle your seatbelt first. As Long Jinghan blushed and said, okay. Lei Lei said, a seamless transition. I just got out, and you're already letting another girl in. Shen Yuan said, did I not tell you? I've got serious business. Lei Lei, frustrated, points at Shen Yuan and said, you. She said to herself, other women, is this your so-called serious business? No, I can't say this now. Calm down, she said. You too. What are you going to do? Shen Yuan, deliberately provoking, said, isn't it obvious? As Long Jinghan holds the seatbelt, blushing. Lei Lei said, you. She said to herself, Shen Yuan's really awful. At least wait until I'm inside the school. Are you that impatient? Shen Yuan said, anything else? If not, we're leaving. Lei Lei said, wait. Shen Yuan said, what now? Lei Lei said, I'm going too. As she sat at the back, Shen Yuan said, don't be ridiculous. I've got serious business. Get out. Lei Lei said, if it's serious, why can't I go along? Shen Yuan sweated and thought, Chow Lei's throwing a tantrum and refusing to get out. And this is the school gate. I can't drag her out. Shen Yuan said, You don't mind, right? Lei Lei said to herself. Being pushed out of the passenger seat was bad enough. But Shen Yuan even asked this woman whether she minded. When have I, Chow Lei, ever suffered this kind of grievance? Long Jing'an said. It's fine, she said to herself. Course I mind, but if I act too petty in front of Shen Yuan, I'll make him lose face. Shen Yuan said, All right, then let's go shopping first. He said to himself, Putting Chow Lei in her place isn't bad. Bringing her along doesn't affect anything. When it's time to get a room, I'll just have the hotel arrange a car to send her back. At the Entron Mall, Long Jinghan said Shen Yuan, May I hold your arm? As Long Jinghan watches them annoyed, Shen Yuan said, Course. He said to himself, Is Xiao Long naturally timid, or only like this around me? She's cautious in everything she does. Seems like I should take extra care of her. Lei Lei blushed as she holds the arm of Shen Yuan. Lei Lei said to herself, What's this? May I hold your arm? So fake sweet. And Shen Yuan actually likes it. So I'm just extra here, being the third wheel. Shen Yuan said, What are you doing? As Lei Lei grabbed Shen Yuan's other arm, she said like a little girl, I want to hold your arm too. Long Jinghan suddenly instinctively let go and she said to herself, So Shen Yuan really indulges her more? Shen Yuan smiled at Long Jing'an and said, It's fine, hold tighter. As he puts her soft, delicate hands back, Long Jinghan blushed and said, Shen Yuan. Lei Lei said, Why won't you let me hold tighter? Shen Yuan said, How close do you want to be? Shen Yuan looks above and said to himself, It feels pretty soft, but we still need to mind appearances. Shen Yuan said, Keep it low-key. Don't you see how many people are in the mall? Lei Lei said, I won't. I'm holding tighter, Shen Yuan said. If you keep this up, I won't let you hold me anymore. A fat man with glasses blushed and said to himself, What in the world is this? And he said to himself, Are they filming a drama or something? The fat man with glasses girl said to herself, All I can say is, he's rich and he really knows how to play. Another man sweats and said to himself, I knew all the high-quality beauties had to be somewhere. Turns out they're all taken by this rascal. As he walks with Lei Lei and Long Jinghan holding his arms, another said to himself, How did those two women agree? A three-person setup in real life? Am I seeing things? As Shen Yuan, Long Jinghan and Chow Lei walked through the mall, Shen Yuan thought, Looking at all the jealous and envious stares around me, I feel a strange sense of satisfaction. Surprisingly, Chow Lei's switched into competing for attention mode. If that's the case, then maybe running side by side tonight isn't completely impossible. A few moments later, inside a store, the attendant said, Mr. Shen, long time no see. Shen Yuan replied, I brought 2 friends to buy some things. The attendant smiled and thought, so now Mr. Shen doesn't even bother acting anymore. Before, he at least brought them one by one. Now he brings 2 at once. A time management master who gave up managing, huh? Shen Yuan said to Long Jinghan, Look around, pick whatever you like. Long Jinghan smiled and said, Chow Lei grabbed Shen Yuan's arm and said, Shen Yuan, the bags and jewelry here are so pretty. She was clearly hinting at something. Shen Yuan thought, that was true. Money never went the wrong way. Chow Lei thought to herself, the gap's far too big, isn't it? She can casually pick gifts worth tens of thousands, while I'm only worth a Western meal. She began to sweat. 10 minutes later, as Long Jing'an's new shoes sparkled, Shen Yuan said, It's rare that I take you out. Why did you only choose these 2 items? Buy more. Don't you like the bags or the clothes? Long Jing'an replied, There's no need, Shen Yuan. You already bought me a lot last time. 2 are enough today, really. Shen Yuan said, No need to be polite. Today you must spend at least 100,000. If there's nothing you like here, we'll check other stores. He thought, although Long Jing'an wants to save me money, this is only a little over 10,000. The system can only give cashback of a little over 20,000. Too little, far too little. Long Jing'an blushed and said, Okay, A lady with a high hairline whispered to her sweating companion, "Look at her boyfriend. At least 100,000. So manly. Would you dare say that?" Xiao Lei blushed and thought, "She gets 100,000 and I get 2,000, and she's not even the main one. If I'd known, I wouldn't have come." This contrast hurts too much. She continued clinging to Shen Yuan's arm, as if holding on for her bare life. Another 20 minutes later, multiple items were placed on the table. Long Jinghan said, "Shen Yuan, that's about enough." Shen Yuan replied, "All right." Xiao Lei felt as if her soul had left her body. Shen Yuan then said, "Xiao Lei, you go pick one too." Xiao Lei asked in confusion, "Huh?" She became excited and grabbed Shen Yuan's hand, saying, "Really?" Shen Yuan said, "Go on." Xiao Lei walked back toward the store and said, "Then I'm really going, okay?" Shen Yuan thought, although Xiao Lei's affection meter still hasn't appeared, what needs to be given still has to be given. She's confident and strong, with a stubborn streak. I don't want to be led by the nose. This is the perfect chance to use Long Jinghan to keep her in check. 15 minutes later, in the parking area, all of them carried multiple bags back to the car. Shen Yuan thought, I spent 120,000 on Long Jinghan and 50,000 on Xiao Lei. Xiao Lei still didn't trigger affection. The system only tripled the cashback on Long Jinghan's side. Net gain, 190,000. Suddenly, Xiao Lei asked, "Shen Yuan, where are we going now?" Shen Yuan replied, "I'll take you back to the international dormitories." Xiao Lei said, "Huh? Then what about you two?" Shen Yuan answered, "We're obviously going to the hotel." Long Jinghan blushed with quiet confidence. Xiao Lei pressed Shen Yuan's arm against her body and said, "Shen Yuan, how about I go too?" Shen Yuan replied, "What are you going for? Don't join the fun. Get in the car. I'll take you back to school." Xiao Lei said, "Please, Shen Yuan, just let me go with you, okay? I'll just hitch a ride and hang out nearby." Shen Yuan sighed and said, "I really can't deal with you. You said you were just hitching a ride." At the Radisson Hotel, Xiao Lei looked at the ceiling and said, "Huh? Isn't this the hotel you booked for me that day? Is it the same suite as last time?" Shen Yuan replied, "Go do your own thing. Why ask so much? We're going up." Xiao Lei asked in shock, "Why should I go somewhere else to hang out?" Shen Yuan said, "Didn't you say that yourself before getting in the car?" Xiao Lei wiped her sweat and said, "Then I really can't go up?" Shen Yuan replied, "What would you go up for? To be our third wheel?" Xiao Lei thought, "At first I followed along to spoil their plans, but now if I really went up, wouldn't it become a threesome with Shen Yuan? Dream on." Shen Yuan pulled Long Jinghan close and said, "If you want to rest, I can book you another suite. We can still have dinner together tonight." Xiao Lei jumped with joy and said, "Yay!" A few moments later, inside the elevator, Xiao Lei said to Long Jinghan, "Hello, what's your name?" Long Jinghan replied, "My name's Long Jinghan. I'm a second year in accounting." "Oh, hello, I'm Xiao Lei." Long Jinghan said, "I know you. You were quite famous at school for cosplay." Xiao Lei replied, "Course, without some special skills, Shen Yuan wouldn't have chosen me for the startup base." Long Jinghan said, "Yes, your skin's fair and you can do cosplay. It's normal that Shen Yuan chose you. I also applied for the startup base, but before the public list came out, Shen Yuan asked me to help a senior." Xiao Lei began to sweat and thought, darn it, what kind of help was that? Wasn't she just saying she'd been chosen by Shen Yuan before me? Xiao Lei looked at Shen Yuan and continued sweating as she thought, look at her. Her true personality's already exposed. Don't be fooled by that pitiful look. Shen Yuan wiped his sweat and thought, where there are women, there's scheming. Even trivial things turn into competitions. Who met me first? Who knew me earlier? Does it really matter? Anyway, they're all mine. Just 2 women already make the scene like this. If there were 4 or 5 together, it'd be complete chaos. It looks like that so-called harmonious harem dream's impossible. A few moments later, Shen Yuan said to the 2 women, you both go inside first. I need to take a call. Shen Yuan answered the phone and said, Hui Wei, what's wrong? Hui Wei replied, Yuan, Ling Ling took leave and went home today. I don't want to stay in the dormitory. Can you keep me company? Shen Yuan said. Tonight might not work. Wee said softly. Oh, then I'll go stay at the Radisson Hotel by myself. Shen Yuan said, Huh? You're going to stay at the Radisson? Wee replied, Yes, I'm almost there. Shen Yuan froze and thought, Darn it, she's almost there. I booked long-term rooms here for convenience. When she wasn't around, I even brought Sister Lin and Long Jing'an here. I really shouldn't have booked everything in one hotel. Thank goodness the rooms aren't the same. It looks like tonight's destined to be extraordinary. Shen Yuan formed a plan at lightning speed. He said into the phone, Go to the suite and wait for me first. I'll handle things here and come find you later. Wee asked, Really? Shen Yuan replied, Course, I even prepared a small surprise for you. Wee said happily, Yay! What surprise? Shen Yuan said, I'll tell you later. I'll let you know the exact time in advance. Inside the room, Xiaolei asked, Jinghan, do you know who Shen Yuan's talking to in the hallway? Long Jinghan replied, No idea. Xiaolei asked then, Have you slept with Shen Yuan many times? Long Jinghan's mind exploded with embarrassment, and she remained silent. Xiaolei said, There's no other meaning. I just want to know why his attitude toward you and toward me is so different. Long Jing'an replied, You think this difference is big. You haven't seen how Shen Yuan treats another girl. Xiaolei asked, What's she like? Who's that girl? Long Jinghan said, What's the use of knowing? Xiaolei moved closer and said, Haven't you watched Empresses in the Palace? Since there's an even stronger one, we should band together. Sisters united can cut through metal. Only then can we rise to the top. She held Long Jinghan's soft hands. Xiaolei thought, I thought Long Jing'an held a pretty high position in Shen Yuan's heart. It turns out, she's just like me, also at the bottom of the food chain. If even the bottom gets 100,000 for shopping, then how much does the main girl get? So the startup base is just an entry ticket. If you want more, you have to put in more effort. Long Jinghan dropped her bag, and Xiaolei asked, Why did you bring such a big bag? It's stuffed full, what's all that? Long Jinghan suddenly rushed to grab it and said, Hey, don't. Xiaolei looked inside the bag and thought, Darn it, that little camisole. Isn't that way too revealing? This is far too embarrassing. And there are traps too. Compared to these, my cosplay outfits are kindergarten level. She was struck by massive shock. Xiaolei thought, 3 full sets. Even for fun, did she really need to bring this many? Long Jing'an and Xiaolei sat down on the $1 million couch, and Xiaolei asked, Sister, is this how you usually please Shen Yuan? Long Jing'an replied coldly, Don't touch my stuff. She put everything back into her bag. Xiaolei said, Tisk. Is Shen Yuan really that picky? Does he need 3 outfits for him to choose from? Long Jing'an said, You'll understand later. Xiaolei thought to herself, With Shen Yuan playing like this, can his body even handle it? So many tricks every day. It sounds like he might be willing but not able. Long Jing'an recalled her first encounter with Shen Yuan and blushed as she said, You'll know later. She thought, I'm not sure whether Shen Yuan can handle it, but I definitely cannot. Xiaolei widened her mouth in shock and said, Sister, we're supposed to be comrades fighting together, and you're just... At that moment, Shen Yuan walked in and said, What sisters? What comrades? I only joined a few minutes later and you're already this close. Long Jing'an hurriedly put her things back into her bag. Xiaolei covered for her and said, Why are we not sisters? Haven't you watched Empresses in the Palace? The concubines all call each other sister. Shen Yuan replied, Give it a rest. I'm not the emperor. Xiaolei said, You live better than an emperor. Long Jing'an asked softly, Shen Yuan, shall we go to the room? Shen Yuan sat down and said, No rush. Come help me with a massage first. Long Jing'an hesitated briefly, then said, Okay. Xiaolei added, Then I'll go use the restroom. Shen Yuan asked casually, How's the startup base going lately? As Long Jing'an began massaging his shoulders, she replied, The progress is fairly smooth. Yan Song and Mo Zhenwang's first 40% of the startup funds have already been transferred. They're preparing now, but summer break's coming, so they definitely can't open before then. Shen Yuan nodded. That's fine, as long as they're pushing seriously. Long Jinghan lowered her voice. Shen Yuan, she's still here. Shen Yuan pulled her closer, making her blush. I know. Do you mind? Long Jinghan thought. That question's got two meanings. First, do I mind being affectionate in front of Chao Lei? Second, do I mind sharing Shen Yuan with her? Could I refuse Shen Yuan? Course not, but this is far too embarrassing. Shen Yuan said calmly, It's fine. Don't worry. I won't force anyone. He gave her a quick, light kiss and drew her onto his lap. Long Jinghan let out a soft sound. Chao Lei returned from the restroom and said, Shen Yuan, then tonight let's eat. She froze mid-sentence and thought, Hey. It's not even night yet. So impatient. And I'm still here. Do you take me for invisible? A few minutes passed. Chao Lei stood stiffly, like a statue, watching Shen Yuan and Long Jinghan sitting close together on the couch, speaking softly to each other. Finally, she sat down in frustration and thought, We're all at the bottom anyway. Why should I be the one to avoid it? I'm not leaving. Shen Yuan looked at her and said, Did I not book you a room? Why are you still here? Chao Lei turned her face away and said irritably, So what? The view's better here. I'm sitting here. Shen Yuan thought. Her stubborn streaks kicked in. Interesting. The fish has bitten the hook. Time for the final push, he said aloud. Stop getting in the way. This room's for Long Jinghan. You go to the other one. Chao Lei stared at him in shock and thought, Huh? Me? In the way? Suddenly she reached out, grabbed Shen Yuan's face, and kissed him. Long Jinghan widened her eyes and thought, So bold. 2 minutes later, Chao Lei finally pulled back, breathing lightly. Am I still in the way now? She thought. We're all girls at the bottom of Shen Yuan's food chain. There's no need to be polite. Whoever makes him happier gets more. You can kiss him right in front of me. Why can't I? Shen Yuan thought. So, not in the way has to reach this level. Long Jinghan covered her mouth, blushing deeply, and thought, it was just a kiss. How did it get to this point? If she can do this with Shen Yuan, then what about me? Together? She shook her head slightly in disbelief. No, being alone with Shen Yuan's one thing, but with a third person absolutely not. This was the first time she'd seen such a scene in real life, and from such close range. Chao Lei's bottom line was already this low. Does that mean I have to lower mine too? Chao Lei said aloud, All right, she's still here. Shen Yuan glanced back and said, Jinghan, go wait in the inner room. Long Jinghan replied softly. Chao Lei hesitated and said, Shen Yuan, I don't want to stay here. Shen Yuan asked, Then shall we go to the bedroom and let Jinghan wait here? Chao Lei shook her head. That's not what I mean. Shen Yuan asked calmly, Then what do you mean? Chao Lei looked down, her face red. Shen Yuan thought, 3 people in one suite like this is extremely rare. It'll be hard to create another chance later. They need to get used to it. That way, next time we go out together, it'll be much easier. He said decisively, You go wait outside. He then carried Chao Lei toward the bedroom. Chao Lei murmured nervously, Shen Yuan, please be gentle. Long Jinghan was left alone in the living room. She thought, Shen Yuan obviously brought me here today. Chao Lei insisted on tagging along and started stirring things up first. Shen Yuan only accepted passively. I should be the heroine. I can't just sit and wait. Since Chao Lei's already gone this far, why should I be shy? After a moment of hesitation, she made up her mind, changed clothes, and walked toward the bedroom door. She took a deep breath and said softly, Shen Yuan, is it my turn now? Shen Yuan paused and replied, Oh! He looked up, clearly surprised. Shen Yuan thought, It looks like Long Jinghan's finally crossed that line in her heart. Shen Yuan lay on the bed as he asked Long Jinghan, Are you okay? Long Jinghan replied softly, I'm fine. Her body trembled slightly and she felt cold. Shen Yuan helped her onto the bed and said, "You can make a request of me. I might not be able to satisfy it, but I'll try my best." Long Jinghan blushed and said, "Then, could you spend a little more time with me?" Shen Yuan answered, "I thought you'd ask for something material." Long Jinghan shook her head. "You've already bought me enough. This time, plus last time, it's already 200,000 to 300,000. Shen Yuan held her delicate soft hands and pressed them against his cheek as he thought, material requests are actually easier to satisfy. If every woman asked for that, time management would be impossible. Unless it's like today, 2 at a time, then efficiency would go way up. A few moments later, Shen Yuan leaned over and kissed Xiao Lei, while Long Jinghan breathed heavily. Shen Yuan thought, but she already pushed herself that far today. He said aloud, "All right, but it won't be too frequent." Long Jinghan nodded. As long as it's a little more, that's enough." Shen Yuan replied, "Okay." Long Jinghan suddenly kissed Shen Yuan's cheek. Shen Yuan remembered Lu Menglu and Hui Wei as he thought, something that means almost nothing to me ended up moving this girl. Hui Wei and Coach Lu are different. Their threshold's very high. To satisfy and move them, I've got to do more and give more. Xiao Lei blushed and began to sweat as she thought. She gave herself to Shen Yuan like this the first time. And after being with her, he even went with Long Jinghan. What a surreal day. Shen Yuan looked back at Xiao Lei, who had hidden herself under the sheets, and asked, "What's wrong? Feeling unwell?" Xiao Lei replied quickly. "No," Shen Yuan asked. "Then are you mad at me?" "No," Xiao Lei answered again. Shen Yuan placed a hand on Xiao Lei's soft back. She protested, "Hey, stop it," Shen Yuan said calmly. "Who told you not to tell the truth just now? I asked if you were angry and you said you weren't." Xiao Lei covered herself and said quietly, "Even if I'm angry, what can I do?" Shen Yuan replied, "If you're angry, I'll treat you to a big meal." "Get up, let's go eat." Xiao Lei shook her head. "I can't walk." "No matter how good the food is, I won't be able to eat it," Shen Yuan said. "Then I'll have the guest manager send it to the room. We'll eat in the room." Xiao Lei hesitated, then said, "Okay, but you have to carry me." She opened her arms. Shen Yuan picked her up and said, "All right, I'll carry you." 20 minutes later, Long Jinghan had finished washing and was drying her hair. She stepped outside and saw Shen Yuan and Xiao Lei eating together. She sat down. An awkward atmosphere filled the room. Shen Yuan continued eating as he thought, they'd better get used to this rhythm early. It might become the norm in the future. Xiao Lei cleared her throat. Ahem, Shen Yuan, didn't you book me a room? I'll take my food back to my room and eat by myself, okay? Shen Yuan asked, is that necessary? Aren't you two already together and good sisters? Eat and chat more. Xiao Lei hesitated. But it's so awkward. Shen Yuan asked, awkward? Jinghan, are you awkward? Long Jinghan replied calmly. Not awkward, she thought, still sweating slightly after the cold bath. I'm super awkward too, but since Shen Yuan wants Xiao Lei to stay, I can't ruin it. Shen Yuan said, Jinghan's not awkward. I'm not awkward either. What are you awkward about? Xiao Lei asked softly. Then can I pack it and take it back to school to eat? Shen Yuan replied, that works too. Long Jinghan thought, this doesn't feel like Shen Yuan's style. Letting me go so easily, Xiao Lei also thought, and his tone so cold, he didn't even say he'd send me back to school. Is he angry suddenly? Shen Yuan held Xiao Lei's head and said, you're not fully recovered yet. Going back to school now would be inconvenient. Even if you go back, it's better to wait until tomorrow. Besides, don't you want to stay with me a little longer? Xiao Lei blushed and replied softly, then, okay. Long Jinghan remembered her first encounter with Shen Yuan as the dull ache at her waist lingered. She said to herself, Shen Yuan never talks to me like this, let alone in such a gentle tone. He's even gently stroking her hair. It makes my heart feel so sour. Shen Yuan suddenly reached out and held both Long Jinghan's head and Xiao Lei's head. Xiao Lei said to herself, suddenly, I feel that even like this, it's quite happy. Long Jinghan said to herself, if only Shen Yuan could stroke my head like this. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. The housekeeper said, Mr. Shen, here are the clothes you requested. Shen Yuan replied, thank you. Sorry for the trouble. The housekeeper smiled and said, you're welcome. Call me any time if you need anything. As he caught sight of Long Jinghan and Qiao Lei inside the room, he quietly walked away thinking, two stunning beauties. One tall and graceful, the other fair-skinned with a seductive figure. Both are top-tier beauties. This is my first time seeing them. Today, besides the beauty staying in Mr. Shen's long-term suite, he even brought two more beauties and booked the suite next door. Is he not afraid of things blowing up? 3 in one night. Can his body even handle it? Too strong. Rich people really know how to play. Shen Yuan put on his clothes and asked, where's Qiao Lei? Long Jinghan replied, she went to take a shower. Shen Yuan nodded and said, all right, I'll go out to handle something and come back later. Tell Qiao Lei for me. Long Jinghan responded softly. Shen Yuan added, I'll take a set of clothes with me. Long Jinghan nodded a few moments later. Qiao Lei came out of the shower and asked, where's Shen Yuan? Long Jinghan answered, he went out to handle something. Qiao Lei frowned and asked, handle what? When's he coming back? Long Jinghan replied, he didn't say. She thought, he took clothes with him, so he must be going to handle that kind of thing. Qiao Lei pressed on, why didn't you ask? As she plugged in the hairdryer, Long Jinghan said calmly, that's not something I should ask. Qiao Lei scoffed, sis, can we have a little backbone? At least we're his women. Why can't we ask? Long Jinghan took the hairdryer from Qiao Lei and said, I think you need to lower your expectations. We don't carry that much weight in Shen Yuan's heart. She began blow-drying Qiao Lei's hair. Qiao Lei widened her eyes, only realizing it now. Then she protested, what you just said killed my confidence. Wait, why are you blow-drying my hair? Long Jinghan replied evenly, because that's what Shen Yuan wants to see. Qiao Lei threw the clothes aside in frustration and shouted, sis, you're hopeless. Ah! She suddenly paused and stared at the clothes. Why are there only 2 pieces? Where's the other one? Her expression darkened. Blast it. Is Shen Yuan really that shameless? Didn't he say he'd spend tonight with us? Long Jinghan replied calmly, don't ask. He'll come back. Qiao Lei snapped. Why shouldn't I ask? He took the clothes I bought to see other women. Is that something a man should do? Long Jinghan shook her head slightly. If you keep thinking like that, I can't help you. Qiao Lei sighed dramatically. My goodness, look at what he's trained you into. Then her eyes lit up with determination. Fine. Then let's just drain him dry tonight. You take 1 set, I take 1 set. I want to see if his kidneys can handle it. Long Jinghan blushed deeply and stammered. Huh? We can do it like that. But he's pretty strong. Today was your first time. Maybe let me go first. Qiao Lei blushed deeply. In the other room, Fang Minhui hugged Shen Yuan tightly and said, Yuan Bao, I missed you. Shen Yuan replied softly, I missed you too. Fang Minhui smiled and asked, what surprise did you prepare for me? Her gaze drifted toward the bag. Shen Yuan said, see for yourself. Fang Minhui blushed and said, huh? Yuan Bao, this is your surprise. Shen Yuan asked, you don't like it? I think it should fit pretty well. Fang Minhui pouted slightly. This is clearly something you prepared for yourself. Shen Yuan smiled faintly. My surprise is your surprise. Go change into it. Fang Minhui walked toward the bathroom and muttered, not at all. So annoying. 2 minutes later, Fang Minhui came out. Her face flushed. Yuan Bao, do you like it? Shen Yuan froze, staring at her in shock. Suddenly he pulled her into his arms. Fang Minhui whispered, Yuan Bao, be gentle, Shen Yuan said in a low voice. Hui, at times like this, don't call me Yuan Bao. You should call me Daddy. Fang Minhui protested weakly. All the happiness is yours. I don't want it. Shen Yuan leaned closer. If you call me that, the surprise will come. Fang Minhui hesitated, then whispered, Daddy, what exactly is my surprise? Shen Yuan laughed softly. Ha ha. My surprise is worth a few small goals. He reached out and took her arm. Fang Minhui trembled as something pressed against her leg. She said teasingly, "You're lying again. Your mouth's getting naughtier and naughtier. I just don't know whether the place that should be naughty has made any progress." Shen Yuan warned her. "Oui, you're playing with fire." He thought, "Among all the NPCs, if I rank bedroom skills in my heart, the absolute number one is class Belle Hui Wei. Trained in dance, talented, and very good at teasing." 2 minutes later, Shen Yuan sat on the bed and asked casually, "Did the naughtiest place get naughty enough to hit your sweet spot?" Fang Minhui murmured, "Yuan Bao, you're amazing." Shen Yuan corrected her. "In bed, what should you call me?" Fang Minhui replied softly, "Daddy is the best." Shen Yuan stood up and said, "Oui, I still have things to do. I'll have breakfast with you tomorrow morning." Fang Minhui hugged him tightly. "Huh? You're leaving?" "I don't want you to go," Shen Yuan reassured her. "Be good, baby. I've got a social engagement tonight. I can't stay. I'll come back in the morning." Fang Minhui asked, "Is it for drinking? Then remember to drink less." Shen Yuan nodded. "I'll keep it in moderation." As he stepped into the elevator, Shen Yuan thought, "I've been out long enough. I need to go back upstairs and keep those two company." Back in Long Jinghan's room, Shen Yuan entered quietly and thought, "Only a few hours, and they're already so close that they even go to the restroom together." He sat down and took out his Chinese phone, replying to messages. Suddenly, Long Jinghan came out of the room. Shen Yuan looked up, startled and confused. Long Jinghan gathered her courage and said softly, "Shen Yuan, tonight, please indulge us to your heart's content." Shen Yuan stared, stunned, and thought, "Why is Qiao Lei being so shy?" But I've got to say, that bashful expression and those coy movements, they're incredible. Qiao Lei stood nearby, blushing, unable to look at him. Shen Yuan thought again, cough. Before I left, the two of them were still completely shy. How did they switch to automatic mode when I came back? Especially Qiao Lei. He sighed inwardly. "All right, since you've got this kind of resolve, then I'll just—" Suddenly, Qiao Lei hid in the other room and said nervously, No, I regret it." Shen Yuan frowned. "What's going on?" Long Jinghan explained gently. "We discussed it together, but Qiao Lei might have got carried away for a moment." Shen Yuan replied calmly, "Since you're already in battle outfits, there's no deserting. Go persuade her." Long Jinghan hesitated. How am I supposed to persuade her?" She thought, "This isn't persuading someone to drink or buy things. This feels like a brothel madam persuading a top courtesan who sells art, but not her body to take a client." Shen Yuan said confidently, "Women understand women best. You should know where her knot is. Go on, you can do it." As he spoke, Shen Yuan lightly slapped Long Jinghan's behind. Long Jinghan held her from behind and said, "Then I'll go try it." Shen Yuan thought, this might also be related to favor. After all, Qiao Lei's favor hadn't yet reached 60, so asking her to do this was indeed a little embarrassing. Long Jinghan looked at Qiao Lei and said, "Qiao Lei, what's wrong with you? You can't accept it." She crossed her arms. Qiao Lei blushed and said, The clothes are too revealing, especially this collar." Long Jinghan hesitated and said, But aren't your cosplays kind of like this too?" Qiao Lei shook her head and said, "That's not this outrageous. Cosplay outfits are actually pretty conservative. They don't expose important parts. But look at this. It's just a few thin pieces of fabric. And we'd be doing it together." Long Jinghan wiped a bit of sweat from her brow and said, "You were the one who suggested it, but you're also the one backing out at the last moment. Don't you want to gain a more important position in Shen Yuan's heart? From the looks of it, this is the simplest and most effective way." Qiao Lei clenched her fists and said, "I do want to. But I feel like using this method means I'd have no dignity at all." Long Jinghan sighed inwardly and said to herself, Why do you think everyone's getting close to Shen Yuan? Don't you already know? Besides, this isn't selling your dignity. It's just playing a little wilder. She stared at Xiao Lei and continued, Since it's already about dignity, then I'll go tell Shen Yuan. You can go rest in the next room. Xiao Lei was silent for a long moment. Thank you. Xiao Lei walked into the room and softly called out, Shen Yuan. Long Jinghan and Shen Yuan were sitting on the couch. Shen Yuan looked up and said calmly, Jinghan told me. Go back to your room and rest. Xiao Lei froze. I thought Shen Yuan would be angry, but he doesn't seem to care at all. His indifferent attitude makes me feel completely dispensable. Am I really that unimportant to him? Tears welled up in her eyes. I've accumulated tens of thousands of followers on Haiyan, and every day I receive dozens of direct messages from admirers. I've always been confident, but when it comes to Shen Yuan, he's hot and cold, distant yet close, making me constantly doubt myself, even feel inferior, especially his coldness just now. It gave me an unprecedented sense of frustration. She stood in front of the mirror, crying silently. Suddenly, Shen Yuan held her from behind and asked, Why are you crying? Xiao Lei wiped her tears and said, It's nothing. Shen Yuan spoke softly. I didn't mean anything else. I just didn't want to force you. Actually, I also want to spend more time with you, but tonight won't work. There'll be a next time. I really can't stand seeing girls cry. He added lightly, You don't look good when you cry. Look at you. You've cried yourself into a little messy cat. Xiao Lei sniffed and retorted. You're the messy cat, Shen Yuan chuckled and said, Go look in the mirror yourself. Xiao Lei looked up and met her reflection, blushing. Shen Yuan said, You look better when you're not crying. He gently lifted her face. Xiao Lei whispered, Am I pretty? Course you are, Shen Yuan replied. The women I like are never ugly. Xiao Lei hesitated before asking, Then why are you still treating me like this? Shen Yuan answered calmly, You're just being too sensitive. Xiao Lei looked up at him. Really? Course. She took a breath and said, Then don't treat me like that again in the future. Her favor toward Shen Yuan rose to 63. Shen Yuan smiled faintly. Course, he thought. For a proud and confident girl like Xiao Lei, you need provocation. Firmness first, then gentleness. Suddenly, Xiao Lei hugged him tightly and said, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here tonight. Shen Yuan asked. You've thought it through this time? Yes, she said firmly. I've thought it through. Shen Yuan paused before saying, How about you go to the next room first? Get used to it a bit more. Xiao Lei shook her head. No, I'm staying right here. Long Jing'an listened from a distance and said to herself, So Xiao Lei was taken down by Shen Yuan just like that. As expected, Shen Yuan's skills ran deep. He always managed to precisely grasp a girl's heart. As she recalled their first encounter, she continued thinking, The last time I was with Shen Yuan, I was completely flustered too. That sense of embarrassment, I still remember it clearly. Shen Yuan is really terrifying, but fortunately, I have already become his. Suddenly she made her decision. I cannot fall behind either. As she untied the ribbon, she suddenly jumped onto Shen Yuan's back. Xiao Lei cried out, Shen Yuan? Do not. Ah! Her skin trembled. Shen Yuan let out a low sound. As Long Jinghan and Xiao Lei worked together, Shen Yuan was completely overwhelmed. The next morning, 8 a.m. Shen Yuan woke up and thought, Last night was truly exhausting. 3 in one day. I definitely need to nourish myself. Long Jinghan's favor, 72. Xiao Lei's favor, 66. He reflected silently. After last night's lesson, both junior sisters' favor increased. If this can be maintained in the future, I won't need to guide them separately anymore. As he sat up, Long Jinghan also woke. A few moments later, she gently dried Shen Yuan's hair and said, Lei Lei's still sleeping. Should we go eat the buffet breakfast, or have the room manager deliver it to the room? Shen Yuan replied, Have it sent to the room. Order Xiao Lei's portion too. She might wake up later. After last night, you two are already close enough to call her Lei. Long Jinghan blushed and said, "You were the one who told me to call her that last night." "Did you forget?" Shen Yuan nodded slightly. "That's true. I even forgot what I said last night. After eating, have the room manager arrange a car to send you back." "I still have things to do, so I won't eat. I'll head out first." Long Jinghan watched Shen Yuan leave and softly responded, Shen Yuan took out his phone and thought, Hui Wei hasn't replied to my messages. She's probably still sleeping in. Then I'll go work out first. Long Jinghan glanced at Xiao Lei, still sleeping on the bed, and thought, from now on, the two of us will be tied together. Looking on the bright side, Shen Yuan should spend more time with us. Looking on the bad side, that time will have to be shared. I wonder if that's a good thing, or a bad thing? A few moments later, at the gym, Liu Menglu said, "Skinny guy, this is your first time being late. Did you have fun until very late last night?" Shen Yuan took off his jacket and replied, "Sort of." Liu Menglu narrowed her eyes. "You've clearly reduced your training lately, so how did your body fat percentage actually go down?" Shen Yuan answered calmly, "Maybe this is what talent looks like." Liu Menglu scoffed. "You didn't secretly go work out somewhere else behind my back, did you?" Shen Yuan held the small of Liu Menglu's back and said, "I practice on my own every night." Liu Menglu said, "And judging by this, your training intensity's not low at all. What a pity. The one keeping you company at the gym every night is not me." Shen Yuan said, "What are you thinking? Haven't I already given you enough little goals?" Liu Menglu said, "How's that considered a lot?" Shen Yuan said, "All right, let's talk business. I've already arranged your position. Over the next couple of days you can go and report in. Or better yet, why not just come to the company with me later and handle the procedures directly?" He then thought, improving company profits doesn't rely solely on internal effort. We also need an outsider's perspective to spot problems. Coach Liu joining us should be a major help in boosting profits. And in a few days, it'll be my birthday. I'll be taking Nana and the others on a trip, so it'll be perfect to have Liu Menglu keep an eye on things. As he stared at Liu Menglu, she blushed and said, "Okay, thank you, hubby." She thought, I thought Shen Yuan didn't need me elsewhere. Being able to help his career like this is even better. At the same time, outside, Fang Minhui looked at Long Jinghan and Xiao Lei and thought, those two girls look familiar. I think I've seen them at the campus cosplay exhibition. They're also foreign affairs students. At the same time, they're carrying so many shopping bags, all luxury brands. Looks like they've got a sponsor too. Long Jinghan glanced at her bag, while Xiao Lei looked at Long Jinghan. Shen Yuan sent a message to Fang Minhui saying, "Are you up yet, Hui Wei? If you're not up, I'll go work out first. I've ordered breakfast to your room. After you eat, the hotel car'll take you back to school." Fang Minhui replied, "Just got up." "Love you, Yuan Bao." "Guess who I saw at the hotel?" Shen Yuan maintained a calm expression but inwardly panicked. Holy goodness gracious. They didn't run into each other, did they? As Fang Minhui used the treadmill, Shen Yuan replied. "Who?" Fang Minhui said. "Two pretty girls, and they're both from our school." Shen Yuan said, "No matter how pretty they are, they can't be prettier than my Hui Wei." The driver suddenly arrived and said, "Miss Fang?" Fang Minhui said, "Yes, that's me." The driver opened the door and said, "Please get in the car." Fang Minhui replied to Shen Yuan, laughing, "You really know how to talk, but one of them's tall with great temperament. The other's got a baby face, a generous figure, and very pretty features. They're genuinely beautiful." Shen Yuan said, "If even my Hui Wei says they're good-looking, then they really must be. Go help me ask for their WeChat." Fang Minhui said, "Shen Yuan, you big jerk, are you asking to get beaten?" Shen Yuan said, "Ha ha ha, I'm just teasing." Fang Minhui said, "Who jokes like that with their girlfriend?" As Fang Minhui's car drove away, Xiao Lei said, "The girl you mentioned before, is it her?" Long Jinghan said, "Probably. Maybe. Possibly." She thought, That girl's in the same class as Shen Yuan, and she stayed here last night too. There's a high chance it's her. Xiao Lei said. There's nothing special about her. She's the main girlfriend? I really don't get it. Long Jinghan said. I never said she's the main one. Xiao Lei said. When we get back to school, should we go talk to her? Long Jinghan said. No, don't do anything stupid. Xiao Lei said, I just think it's unfair. Why does Shen Yuan treat her so well? Even the hotel car sends her off first. And we're not worse than her. Long Jinghan said, maybe she called the car first. Also, she might not be the main one. Anyway, don't mess around. Don't do anything that'd make Shen Yuan unhappy. At Jingfu Company at 11 in the morning. Liu Menglu arrived, beautiful and sharp. The employees whispered among themselves, so punctual. She must be the boss's woman too, right? Which number is she? Seems like the third. A boss really is a boss. I've never seen him bring an unattractive woman. Yeah, each one prettier than the last. Tisk, tisk, money really is powerful. Fu Yingzi said to herself, this was nothing. The boss even recruited a whole basketball team at school. Wait, he's only brought this one and Long Jing'an to the company before. Who's the third woman they're talking about? Did I miss something in my work? Fu Yingzi said, Xiao Hei, weren't there only two? Who's the other woman they're talking about? Xiao Hei said, are you really clueless, or just pretending? The third woman they're talking about is you, Fu Yingzi said in confusion. Huh? Liu Menglu said, Shen Yuan, how was my performance just now? Shen Yuan said, what performance? Liu Menglu winked at Shen Yuan and said, if I'm coming to work, and as a specially appointed consultant, I should naturally be poised, friendly, and composed. Judging from the employees' expressions, my performance should have been pretty good. Shen Yuan said, why are you adding so much drama to yourself? Come a few more times and you won't feel anything. Liu Menglu said, you can't say that. As long as I come, I'll keep it up. She then asked, Shen Yuan, do you have a secretary? Shen Yuan said, no. Liu Menglu sat on Shen Yuan's desk and said, then can I take on another role part-time? How about being your secretary? Shen Yuan said, I think we should forget it with you next to me every day. As my secretary, how would I get any work done? At that moment, Zhong pushed the door open and said, President Shen, you wanted to see me. Shen Yuan said, Director Zhong, this is the specially appointed consultant I mentioned, Miss Liu Menglu. Please take her documents, have her sign the contract, and then complete the onboarding procedures. Zhong said, all right, President Shen. Miss Liu, please come with me. Half an hour later, Liu Menglu returned to Shen Yuan's office. Shen Yuan asked, all done? All done, Liu Menglu replied. Shen Yuan, no. Now I'm your employee. She stepped closer and said softly, shouldn't I change how I address you too, President Shen? Shen Yuan said, go sit over there. Stop touching things in the office. Can't you see that it's transparent glass? Mind the impact. As Liu Menglu turned away, she pulled the blinds shut. She then turned back toward Shen Yuan and said seductively, well, now it's not transparent, President Shen. Shen Yuan said, what are you trying to do? Liu Menglu licked her lips and said, don't you want to try it here? Shen Yuan wiped sweat from his brow and said, this is the company. This is a workplace. Liu Menglu leaned closer and said, President Shen, today I'm your secretary. Don't you want to floop a secretary? She deliberately dropped something onto the floor and knelt down. Shen Yuan was shocked and confused as he looked into Liu Menglu's eyes. 1 minute later, Liu Menglu rested against the desk and said softly, Daddy, today's business ends here. I'm off work now. Shen Yuan said, you're off work with Daddy, but with President Shen you still have to keep working. Come on, go to the meeting with Daddy. And so, the management meeting lasted 2 hours. During the meeting, Liu Menglu spoke calmly and methodically. Shen Yuan listened with a proud expression. He thought, Menglu was well prepared for work. She was completely different in meetings compared to when she was a coach. Ever since I got the system, not only has my life changed drastically, it's also affected the lives of those around me. This must be the so-called butterfly effect. The employees listened attentively, utterly starstruck by Liu Menglu's discussion of the company's various After the meeting, Liu Menglu gently massaged Shen Yuan's shoulders as she spoke. So, President Shen, I didn't let you down, right? You know, before this, when I saw those chief executive officers and senior executives, I could only be polite to them. But today, I was actually the one hosting the meeting, and I could even sense them trying to curry favor with me. She blushed, leaned closer, kissed Shen Yuan, and said softly, "This feeling makes me really happy." "Thank you, hubby." Shen Yuan looked at her and replied calmly, "You earned it yourself. It means they approved your proposal. Also, I'll be going on a trip for a week in a few days. If anything comes up, just message me." As Liu Menglu retouched her makeup, she suddenly froze in shock. "Huh? That's so sudden. Can I go with you?" Shen Yuan tapped her nose lightly and said, "The tour group's already full. You'll have to wait for the next batch. When I'm back, I'll spend a whole day with you, all right?" Liu Menglu nodded and said, "All right then. I've prepared a birthday gift for you. I'll give it to you when you come back. Definitely a surprise. There are still some human resources procedures unfinished. I'll go take care of them first." Shen Yuan replied, "Okay." Shen Yuan opened his email and murmured to himself, "Coach Lu's experience sharing'll take time before the results show. I can't neglect my own learning either. Let me see if the daddy system still has any learning cards." A system notification appeared. Because the host has completed the campus reputation task, current reputation points, 6,000. For every 500 reputation points spent, you may draw once. Would you like to draw now? Yes, no, Shen Yuan thought. I accumulated over 6,000 reputation points at the Foreign Affairs College. That means 12 draws in total. Let's try 6 draws first. He pressed the confirmation. A system notification appeared. Congratulations to the host for obtaining attribute point multiplied by 1. Selectable attributes, height, weight, body fat, immunity, brain activity. Another system notification followed. Skill exchange coupon multiplied by 1, cash, 1 million. Learning card multiplied by 1. Thank you for participating multiplied by 2. Shen Yuan frowned slightly. 6 draws, but only 4 rewards. Still, attribute points are good stuff. Worth it. 1 point won't show much effect, so I'll save it and use it later. The learning card's the most practical. With it, dealing with the counselor feels much more reassuring. Shen Yuan called Li Xiao. "Counselor, the student needs to learn new knowledge again. I'll come find you later." Li Xiao replied, "Still studying international economics? But I won't be home that soon." Shen Yuan answered, "No problem. I'll wait for you in the room." Li Xiao immediately blushed. "What room? Don't talk nonsense. I'm hanging up." Shen Yuan said quickly, "How's that nonsense? I meant I'll wait for you at home." Li Xiao whispered softly, "I'm not a little girl. You definitely didn't mean it that way." Li Mengfei is out of town and not at home. Come tomorrow. Her friend listened patiently nearby. Shen Yuan replied, "All right, I'll come tomorrow then." He muttered to himself, "What a joke. Your good little sister has already been turned by me. She just told me she landed and is on the way home." Li Xiao's face grew even redder as she thought, "This bloke's so annoying. He clearly meant it that way, yet he makes it sound like I misunderstood him." Suna coughed lightly. "Ahem, last time you said it hadn't started, so has it started this time or not?" Li Xiao shouted, "Teacher Suna." Suna chuckled and said, "Men and women should marry when they're of age. You've been working for years already. What's there to be embarrassed about? Dating someone's normal." Outside the room, Fang Minhui whispered excitedly, "Hui Hui, did you hear that? The counselor's dating," Chenling added. "Yeah, I wonder which man's so lucky to have our counselor as his partner." Fang Minhui said, "Probably not a male teacher from our school." Chenling nodded. "True. Most male teachers are already married." Fang Minhui lowered her voice. "The few who aren't are either short or not very impressive. The counselor definitely wouldn't choose them." Chen Yuan called Li Meng. "Hey, are you home yet?" Li Meng, in the middle of her beauty routine, replied casually, "Yes, I'm home already. What's up?" Shen Yuan said, "I'll come over later. Don't tell your sister." Li Meng scoffed. "What? You're just going to leave right after messing around with me? Shen Yuan replied calmly. Can you stop using that word? You're educated. Can you be a bit more refined? Li Meng chuckled. Oh? You want to walk down my shady little path? Shen Yuan raised an eyebrow. What shady path do you even have? Then, pink lips? Shen Yuan cut her off immediately. Enough. I'm coming over later. Cook for me. Li Meng snorted. In your dreams. Letting you mess around with me's already enough. Now you want food too? Shen Yuan replied seriously. Then I won't have the energy later. At the same time, at the Foreign Affairs cafeteria. Qiao Lei said quietly. I found out. The girl's name's Fang Minhui. She's the class belle of Shen Yuan's class and studied dance. Long Jinghan frowned. Why are you digging into this? Qiao Lei replied calmly. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll never lose. Only by knowing where she's better than us can we replace her position. Long Jinghan broke into a cold sweat. Is that really necessary? Qiao Lei looked at her sharply. Course. Do you want to stay a woman at the bottom of his food chain forever? Suddenly, a group of boys walked toward their table. One first-year student's friend whispered, Don't chicken out. This is a great opportunity. Another chimed in, Yeah. She's already a second year and still hasn't dated. She must be waiting for a dramatic romance. A third boy with glasses nodded confidently. I think there's a chance. You don't look bad. Your family's well off. You're exactly the type that's easiest to get a girlfriend on campus. The first-year student blushed deeply. Qiu Qiao Lei. He stepped forward, holding a bouquet of red roses. The surrounding crowd began to cheer. Get together. Get together! Get together! Qiao Lei stared at him silently. A trash bin sat conveniently beside their table. She suddenly tossed her cup of bubble tea straight into the bin and snapped, Don't come near me. I'm already annoyed. She slammed the table. The first-year student and his friends froze in shock. The boy hesitated. Qiao Lei said coldly, Don't leave that here, or I'll throw it away myself. Her sharp gaze pierced him. The first-year student lowered his head, completely defeated. Qiao Lei suddenly stood up, grabbed Long Jinghan's wrist and said, Han, let's go. This is only making me more annoyed. The people around whispered, That was brutal. Qiao Lei's rebellious. On top of that, she was selected into the entrepreneurship base. These first-year students are so clueless. Of all people to confess to, why her? The first-year student and his group stood there awkwardly. Qiao Lei thought, Public confessions are basically putting a girl on a grill. I've got zero interest. If I don't reject him decisively, he'll think he still has a chance and keep coming. She exchanged a glance with Long Jinghan. Long Jinghan thought quietly, That makes sense. That bloke'll probably need a long time to recover. Even if he does, he'll never dare confess so casually again. Qiao Lei suddenly said, Han, I've decided. I'm going to learn yoga and sign up for dance classes. I'll grind her down. Long Jinghan blinked. You're serious? Qiao Lei nodded firmly. Course. What about you? Are you coming with me? Long Jinghan hesitated. I'll think about it. If I do learn, we can go to the yoga studio under Shen Yuan's company. Qiao Lei grinned. Good sister, that's my girl. Deal. We'll grind down Fang Minhui. No, grind down all of Shen Yuan's other women. In the distance, a cold breeze brushed past Lu Menglu. She shivered suddenly. Huh? Why do I suddenly feel a chill down my back? She broke into a light sweat and absent-mindedly smelled her finger. Suddenly an office lady knocked on Shen Yuan's door and said, President Shen, about that company team to building activity you proposed earlier. Everyone's Here are the 2 locations we picked based on your requirements. She came in and said, the first one's Sunset Camp at Kaifu, includes cooking competitions, self-service BBQ, live-action combat sims, and karaoke. The second one's Dawn Mountain Rafting. In the morning, there's group strategy games. In the afternoon, rafting, then a bonfire party and lawn concert. Shen Yuan glanced at the file and said, Sunset Camp it is. Since it's only a one-day team-building do, No one will want to waste too much time traveling. Plus, most of the management have families and want to get home early. The lady said, "Got it. I'll sort it out right away." Shen Yuan paused. "Wait, that name Sunset Camp sounds familiar. That's the same one they picked for my junior high school reunion." He shook his head slightly. "Forget it. If I bump into him, so be it. What's meant to come will come." A short while later, Xiao Lei called Shen Yuan and said, "I want to learn yoga at your yoga studio," in a soft voice. "Can you have a word with the manager for me?" Shen Yuan said, "Why the sudden interest in yoga?" Xiao Lei said, "Just fancied it all of a sudden. Anyway, it's never a bad thing to pick up a new skill." Shen Yuan said, "All right, I'll ask her to get in touch with you." An hour and a half later, Shen Yuan arrived at Li Xiao's flat. Li Meng opened the door and said, "Come in then, the food's gone cold." Shen Yuan was carrying a Balenciaga bag and said, "Got you some stockings. Didn't I rip your stockings in the car last time?" Li Meng opened it and said, 10 pairs. Why'd you buy so many?" Shen Yuan said, 5 pairs are for your sister." Shen Yuan and Li Meng sat down. Li Meng said, "But these ain't the sort you can wear every day." Shen Yuan said, "Who said they're for every day?" Li Meng said, "Half of them have letters on. I can't wear these to work." Shen Yuan said, "Who said they're for work?" Li Meng said, "Shen Yuan, you're such a jerk." Shen Yuan chuckled softly. "Partner, you're a right good cook. Cook for me again when you get the chance." Li Meng said, "In your dreams." Shen Yuan stood up and said, "Right, I'll leave you be. Gotta hit the books." Li Meng said, "Go on then." A system notification popped up, using high-efficiency learning card. While reading, the host memorizes everything in one glance. Each card lasts 1 hour. Shen Yuan muttered to himself, "International economics corresponds to the investment management module. The task reward is full knowledge implantation of Stanford Master of Science in Finance." 40 minutes later, Li Meng said, "Ain't you got something to do?" She asked, concerned. "Why ain't you in a rush? My sister'll be home soon." Shen Yuan kept reading. Li Meng sweated and looked confused. She suddenly did a lightning speed outfit change and sat down next to Shen Yuan. She showed off her long legs and new Balenciaga stockings. Shen Yuan said, "What are you doing?" Li Meng said, "Smell good." She showed off her perfect toes. Shen Yuan muttered to himself, "There's still 20 minutes left on the learning card. I've got key points in the last chapter I need to memorize." He held her perfect ankles. Li Meng said, "Look at the time. It's 7 in the evening. My sister'll be back at 9. Shen Yuan said, "There's 2 hours left, loads of time. Just give me 20 minutes. Li Meng moved away and said, "You always cut it close. Afterward, you'll need a shower, and so will I. You're such a pig. I'm not doing it. Suffer." 20 minutes later, system notification. Congratulations to the host for mastering all key knowledge points of international economics. The system will implant all Stanford Master of Science in Finance knowledge into the host's brain within half an hour. Shen Yuan said, "Phew, finally done with studying. It's 7:40. Still got time." Shen Yuan knocked on Li Meng's door and said, "I'm ready." Li Meng said, "I've lost interest. You can leave now." Shen Yuan said, "You sure? I'll wait for you outside. If you don't come out in 10 minutes, I'm off." Shen Yuan muttered to himself, "Based on how well he knows her, she won't be able to resist." 5 minutes later, Li Meng said, "Shen Yuan, come in." Shen Yuan said, "Speak up. I can't hear you." Li Meng said, "I said, please come in." Shen Yuan said, "Come in for what?" Li Meng said, "To get to work." Shen Yuan said, "Work?" he repeated calmly. "I can do that. But who are you to me?" Li Meng said, "You're my brother-in-law." Shen Yuan said, Do you know what you should call me next time? Li Meng hesitated, flustered and embarrassed. Shen Yuan said, Stop stuttering, answer properly. Li Meng said, I don't know what to say. Shen Yuan said, Think carefully. Li Meng bit her lip, her voice barely audible. Brother-in-law, please. Shen Yuan moved closer. He said, Is that so? Her face went red. Brother-in-law, I know. Shen Yuan said, Turn around. Li Meng turned and said, Okay, brother-in-law. Shen Yuan said, Raise it a little higher. Li Meng said, Like this. Shen Yuan said, Very good, with a smile. Li Meng trembled with pleasure. A minute later, Shen Yuan muttered to himself. At first, she was shy and angry, but as time went on, her emotions quietly shifted, became hesitant, then subdued. He said, You all right? Li Meng said, I'm fine, brother-in-law. Shen Yuan said, It's nearly 9. Go have a shower, I'll take the floor. Li Meng said, Okay. Shen Yuan added calmly, When your sister gets back, don't add any titles in front of her. Li Meng said, Got it. As Li Meng left the room, Shen Yuan muttered to himself, It's 7:50. The counselor'll be here soon. That faint lingering scent in the room got me nervous. I've really got to clean this up quick, he thought, or else something serious'll happen. As Li Xiao walked towards her room, Shen Yuan suddenly hugged her from behind. Ah! She screamed, punching him lightly on the head. Let go of me. Counselor, stop hitting me, it's me, Shen Yuan said quickly, sweating. Li Xiao turned around. Ha! Shen Yuan. What are you doing here? She grabbed his hand. You scared me. I thought a burglar had broken in. You're such a jerk. Why didn't you say you were coming? Just wanted to surprise you, he replied with a smile. Li Xiao hugged him, her cheeks flushed. I was thinking about you at the office. Your messages don't seem like you these days. Before, whether I wanted you to come or not, you'd always show up. Do you want me to come? He asked, gently playing with her hair. Yeah, I do. He leaned in and gave her a soft kiss. I want to too. I want to see you every day. Her affection level quietly rose from 77 to 79. Then come see me every day, she whispered. All right, I'll come when I'm free. They held each other tight. Shen Yuan. We've been seeing each other for a while now, Li Xiao said softly. But I've never properly expressed my feelings or made any promises. Are you getting tired of waiting? Not at all, he replied. Doesn't that just mean you're careful about relationships and have high standards? That's a good thing. I'll wait for you, she smiled. Thanks, Shen Yuan. After another soft kiss, he thought to himself that her affection level had gone up 2 points. A moment later, she asked, By the way, when did you get here? How's your international economics studying going? And have you seen Li Meng? Pretty much memorized international economics, he said casually. As for Li Meng, I didn't really notice. His expression shifted slightly. Li Xiao quietly wondered if she'd made him uncomfortable before. If I ever do anything that makes you uneasy, just tell me, she said. Don't keep it bottled up. I can change. I'm fine, he assured her. You're probably tired after work. I just don't want you to worry about anything when you get home. It's all right. Come into my room. She took his hand and led him inside. A moment later, she sat him down on the bed. I'm not tired. Let me take care of you. Shen Yuan wiped a bead of sweat from his forehead, inwardly startled by her unexpected enthusiasm. Meanwhile, Li Meng came out of the shower. Ah, is sis home yet? She spotted Li Xiao's bag and shoes by the door, her expression dim. Quietly, she went back to the bathroom, started drying her hair, and stared at herself in the mirror. He loves my sister. He's hers. And I'm just friends with benefits. A moment later, my knee hurts, Li Xiao whispered with a small laugh, Need a cushion next time. Shen Yuan gently pulled her onto the bed and held her tight. Take care of yourself. Are you sleeping on the couch again tonight? She asked. I'm going back to my own place. I always feel guilty making you sleep on the couch. Don't worry about it, he said softly. Just getting to look at you longer and hear your voice. It's all worth it. A short while later, Shen Yuan left Li Xiao's room and found Li Meng standing right in front of him. He stepped out and said quietly, I'm off. Li Meng dropped her gaze. Okay, she replied softly. A moment later, in Li Meng's room, Li Xiao sat down next to her and asked, What do you think of Shen Yuan? Do you reckon we're a good match? Li Meng looked down. He's brilliant. Li Xiao noticed the change in her tone. What's up? Is something wrong? You in a bad mood? No, Li Meng said quickly. You're overthinking, sis. I'm probably just tired. Li Xiao stood up. Traveling back and forth is exhausting. Get some rest. I'm gonna have a shower. Sis? Li Meng called out. Li Xiao turned, confused. What's that? She saw Li Meng blushing, with beads of sweat on her forehead. Li Meng forced a smile. Shen Yuan's great. I'm fully behind you two. Good, Li Xiao replied with relief. I was worried you might not like him. A moment later, Li Meng lay quietly in bed, tears welling up in her eyes. How could I not like him? She whispered to herself. I like him too much. She grabbed her phone and sent a message to Shen Yuan. Shen Yuan, let's end this friends with benefits arrangement here. Outside, as Shen Yuan walked along, his phone buzzed. He glanced at the building and frowned. What's wrong with being friends with benefits? He muttered. Are we overdoing it now? He read her message again. He typed. What's the problem now? Nothing, Li Meng replied. Forget it, that's all. I'm going to sleep. Shen Yuan stared at the screen, a bead of sweat on his temple. As he drove away, he muttered, She can't even explain it properly. Wasn't what I did earlier enough? In her room, Li Meng clutched her pillow tight and turned to the side. Shen Yuan, why did you have to be with my sister first? Thank you for watching Rebirth Genesis. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you will not miss the next chapter of the journey. Your support keeps this rebirth going strong. Until next time, stay sharp and keep rising beyond your limits.